Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sim Racing Alliance. It's season 13. We are starting out tonight strong.
As they do go side by side. It is the formation lap almost done. They will look, all eyes to the lights. That's going to be an amazing start.
And we have a crash in turn 1 already. What's going on?
On to the bus stop straight. Goes for it around the outside.
More contact behind. That is huge. A couple of gainers in that one.
She's given it everything. She has to. I'm not sure that it's over yet, though.
This is the last opportunity.
We're off and away for SRA. Hello, everybody, and welcome to not Season 14 or 15 yet. We're not quite there yet, unfortunately. And we're also not at Suzuka, despite what that says. We are at Oulton Park for a special 3-hour event for special GT4 and M2 endurance event. It should be a lot of fun here today. I am Trey Morgan, and I am joined by two people here. I'm joined by Alexa Marshall, and I am joined also by Seth Rocha. I don't know who wants to introduce themselves first, but...
What's going on, guys? This is going to be fun.
Hello. Hello, chat. Hello, chat. I'm going to be honest, you're about to see a lot of Oulton glaze, because, yeah, home circuit. I mean, we already talked about this, as apparently, Oulton Park does not want to show up. It's 17 turns, 4.30 kilometers. That converts to 2.677 miles, and it is located just east of Chester in Cheshire. It's 1 hour and a half drive from Liverpool, which is its closest city, 2 hours to Manchester. So if you ever want to go to Oulton Park, you get a flight to Manchester, and then you can get a train to Chester, and then it's an half-an-hour taxi. But of course, it's Oulton Park. There's plenty of corners to know. Big part about this circuit, it's got 3 different layouts. We're using the national layout, and we are taking full advantage of the chicanes. Of course, you've got Deer Leap, you've got the bridge, you've got a whole lot of love about this circuit, and we've got 27 minutes, 38 seconds in this qualifying session. It's 16-degree track temperature with 16-degree ambient, optimum track surface, and no rain on the forecast. However, I'm going to be very honest, that temperature is very inaccurate to real life, because it is hot in real life right now, going through a heat wave. So I'm sure that the drivers will appreciate that their tyres are not going to be on fire this evening, as we do watch Ilpo Rutsalainen here. But Seth, it's Oulton Park, and this is one of the things, GT3s may not be that good around here, but GT4s and the M2s, as you call them in the BMWs, they're very small, and you can make BTCC references with them as well. And if you watch the British Touring Car Championship, you know how good the races can be around here. So it's a 3-hour endurance event, but even though it's a thin circuit, these cars can definitely go side by side. It's going to be one heck of a fight.
Absolutely. I definitely think that with the slower pace that the cars have, that they're going to have a good time fighting each other. And you can definitely throw these things a lot more up the inside of other cars than you can in the GT3s. Speed with the GT3s out here is just crazy. It's almost scary.
Yeah, most definitely. And of course, Mr. Trey Morgan bringing you all the camera shots here this evening. What are you expecting here? Because it's Oulton Park, and were you in the commentary box last season when we had Oulton on the calendar?
Yeah.
I don't believe you was.
Yeah, no.
Is this your first time doing Oulton here at SRA?
No, I've done Oulton. I've raced Oulton, and I've commentated at Oulton. It was a lot of fun. I commentated, I believe it was D1 whenever we last came to Oulton Park, and it was a lot of fun. But I'm expecting a little bit of chaos here. Probably not as much as I would hope, because, you know, it's an endurance race, so everyone will be spread out. But we have since it's just a special one-off event, we've got a lot of different paces. We've got everyone from aliens down to a team that has a D5 and a D6 driver. So we have a lot of different people with a lot of different pace, and so I don't really know how it's all going to shake out when people with that different a pace are trying to fight each other.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see as Ilpa runs the line and just flying around the circuit right now in the M2. The TCX goes to the line and over. They will now go coming to it right now towards the end. 1 minute 42, 145 in their lap time of this current time. Next up is going to be P number 2, 1.785 off the top time. Chat, please do let us know about the audio levels. And what we're also going to do here, because if you don't know, happening in real life right now is the 24 hours of the Nordschleife. I know that there's some Nordschleife fans out there. So if the action does get a little bit slow, we will also be bringing you updates from what is happening over in the 24 hours of Nordschleife, as Donovan Colton for CSLM2 is making his way through towards the hairpin, but big rear end snap there for him, but nice and tidy through the banked hairpin.
Yeah, he had a nasty snap of oversteer thanks to how bumpy this track is. It's very easy, especially on the corner where he had his issue, to just kind of have a little bit of oversteer moments. So we'll have to see how many people do that during the race, because going out of the track, especially on the outside of that corner, can really cause big issues, not only for you as you careen toward a whole bunch of barriers, but also trying to get back onto the track.
Yeah,
it seemed the British like their bumpy tracks, huh?
Well, yeah, we build them. we build proper racing tracks, excluding Silverstone, because that circuit is just flat. And honestly, it may surprise some people. A lot of us British people hate Silverstone. The only reason most people like it is because F1. But this is a thing with British circuits. There's no runoff apart from Silverstone. But if you look at the circuits around the UK, Donington Park, Oulton Park, Thruxton, Snetterton, it's proper tracks. There's just greenery around you. So it's either you keep it on the black stuff or you go spinning round. And I forgot, Trey, we forgot to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SRA commentary crew, Seth Roker.
Glad to be here, guys.
This is his first time! Yay! Trey,
Yeah,
say some words.
No,
I was trying
you
to
can't make me say
words.
anything.
Say some words. You're the one controlling all the cameras. You're technically the lead here.
Well, I'm allegedly in the lead. We'll see how long that lasts. Right now, we're watching Dan Cran in his wonderful hard livery. I don't know if there's any hard motorsport. There we go. That's the actual name of his thing. As he's going around, he's currently in second place. No one is anywhere close to Ruotsalainen though in lap time, which is a little shocking.
I mean,
There's a whole 1 second gap. That's pretty big. And how many M2s do we have here? Looks like 9, 10.
I think it's 12.
12.
Yeah, most of the people here are just not. Or most of the people are racing in M2s because it's a little bit more fun. Some people just like it more, but also since it's slower, you can normally have a little bit more fun driving these kind of cars. It's kind of similar to like driving a Ferrari versus driving a Miata is what I'll call it. Miatas are a lot more fun because they're slower, but everything seems faster because they're smaller. Driving a Ferrari at medium speed isn't that fun.
That's fair. I know that these M2s, they get into some good battles. I've never personally driven the M2, but watching them is always real fun when they get to fisticuffs right there. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say this, Trey. You're saying that people drive the Miata over the Ferrari because they're more fun to drive. People drive the Miata, as we see a rear end rubber for Mertzen. The reason why people drive the Miata is because it's the only car that they can make wink.
I mean, that's fair, but you haven't been able to do that on a Miata since the 90s. I think 98. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Ferraris. You know, it's since they're not as fun at medium speed. That's why I sold mine and got a 2002 Toyota Avalon.
Yeah, it's a good
Totally
reason.
not because I couldn't afford it.
All these people with cars, and yet I do not even have a driver's license. As going through the hairpin, plenty of drivers out there on the circuit, and it's going to be an interesting one. Oh hey, the track temperature's dropped. This is not realistic. It's boiling right now, and I'm going to be honest, chat. Do not be surprised if I complain about do not be surprised if I complain a lot about the weather, okay? It's boiling here. People don't understand. But one thing they will understand very, very quickly. Donovan Colton over to the line. Goes to P number 2. 272 to P number 2. 1.125 off the top time. 1.463 is the top. So still quite a margin to catch up. 19 minutes, 20 on the clock.
Yeah, but the M2s aren't going to have the whole time to qualify. The GT4s have to qualify at some point, and the M2s aren't allowed to be on track during that time. I think it's at about the 15-minute mark is when we'll see that transition. But sorry, Seth, I interrupted you. What were you about to say?
No, you're alright. Chat's saying that my mic is slightly louder than y'all's. If you are able to control that.
If you give me a second, I will somewhat fix that.
If I was
hopefully that's a little bit better.
If I was Ilpo, I would just pit at this point, seeing as I was a 1.125 seconds up. I mean, I guess he could go out there just to get the practice, but it doesn't seem like he needs it very much.
I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like you spent an entire season driving a GT3. So how is it going to fare this time round, switching to a different car, when you know that you've got to be back in a GT3 in 2 weeks' time?
It's definitely a big switch up. I think these D1 guys, though, I don't think they're gonna have too much of a problem. They seem like they know their way around these cars, and they can figure it out pretty quick.
Don't even remind me. D1 guys are absolute aliens. However, like we saw last season, D1 and D2 are pretty interchangeable now. Like you can see D2 gold going up against D1 silver. So they are very interchangeable, the tiers right now. So it's going to be interesting to see where everybody will stack up when we get into next season. And of course, if you would like to know about when the season is coming, that'll be coming your way next week, I believe on the Saturday, to bring you the season reveal. And speaking of the season reveal, unfortunately, Seth is not involved. Unfortunately, Seth is not an option. However, me and Trey are. The vote for the commentator of the season, aka the MVP commentator, the vote is still open. It's in announcements, and you can cast your vote to who you believe was the best commentator of the season, and then the winner. P number 2 in that gets a lovely little emoji and the knowledge that the fans love him. And then the winner of that said vote also is obligate. I mean, they have the honor of doing a shoey on the season reveal stream. This guy Manperson right now is going to be coming up and through. 909 guy Manperson here at Oulton Park goes to the line. Well, there you go. They stay P number 6, 2.610 off the top. Trey, it's going to be an interesting season next season, and to be honest, this may be giving a visual about where everybody is going to be next season, as there is Andre Velasquez going off and into the barriers. We get the replay here.
Yeah, I think he was just having fun, because I could be wrong, but I believe the M2s are just about done with their qualifying. But, yeah, it will be a pretty interesting season.
Guy Manperson, last minute addition to the grid. Seems like he just made it in, so he probably hasn't done any practice. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out in the race.
Yeah, he was talking about how he didn't think he'd show up, and then we had a delay. And so now he's actually able to show up. So glad to see that he's able to make it.
Yeah, I mean, that is going to be a key thing. How many people are going to be competing in this? Because, of course, it's a 3-hour race, so it's going to be It's going to be a little long while whilst the racing action does continue. So we've still got 15 minutes 25 left on the clock here. I believe GT4s are now out on the circuit. Yes, they are. So it is going to be an interesting one. As of course, these drivers are going to give everything they have here. As we look at the Porsche, I am sure that Selena and Jess will be very happy. However, speaking of next season, as we watch Justin McKechnie go around this circuit, I don't know if they were joking, but this may be a surprise to some people. I think Jess and Selena said they are going to be in the Ford Mustang next season, but they may have changed their mind when it got revealed that we found a way to nerf the Ford Mustang's engine.
Guess they were tired of the fighting them on the straights with the Porsche.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the restrictor plate thing that they've figured out how to work out works, because just about everyone has been complaining or making jokes about how fast it is, rightfully so. Like I was, as Mac and I were racing the Ferrari last season, and you just could not overtake a Ford in the Ferrari at all. You could maybe get alongside them into the turn, but they'd out-accelerate you no matter what. And so I'm interested to see how it turns out and whether or not it is able to rein back its terror.
I mean, I'm gonna check this. I'm pretty sure, like, it was mentioned how much I think they've taken away like 200 horsepower from the engine. So I'm actually gonna
200
try.
sounds a little insane.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
The most I would expect it would be like 50.
GT3 orientation.
Very interesting that the very known Porsche team is going to switch to a V8 car, and then me and my teammate just race a V8, and we're going to switch to the Porsche. Or we're thinking about it, at least.
Yeah, meanwhile, you've got me who just isn't doing that. Okay, so it's not next week, it is the week after. So we'll go through this for you, just to give you a little bit of a rundown, as we're seeing a replay here of a good old Macca, good old British engineering around the British track, as they're just going over the line. I'm Alexa Marshall, Seth Roker, and Trey Morgan, like you can see on the bottom left. I'm not all three people, but here we are. And so going through this, of course, you've got the 3-hour Oulton Park Multiclass tonight, but Season 15 qualifying stint window was opened on June 9th. That closes on June 29th, with classification revealed and registration opens on June 30th. League in a week in orientation races, weeks of June 23rd and June 30th. And then the week 1 track for next season will be revealed on June 30th, with the Season 15 livery and shoey submission deadline being July 3rd. And then the livery and schedule reveal stream will be on July 5th. It's tentative at the moment, and then the Season 15 starts on July 7th. So, that is the way that the format works, and I don't know if Jess could give any clarification. I don't know if Jess is in the Twitch chat. If they are, it would be greatly appreciated. But I do believe, like I said earlier, the commentary of the season, but I'm pretty sure that closes tomorrow or Monday.
That says tonight.
Yeah, Jess is in the comments, and he says it's tonight. So
everybody, get your votes in. Somebody put the link in the chat.
The man has spoken. Meanwhile, we have a new pole sitter, Kraus.
Oh, Schwartz now. By a big gap, 7/10.
Wow, that is a pretty big gap.
So Wright was holding it there for a while. I guess Schwartz finally got a good lap in, and that's a big jump straight to the pole.
Big jump. I mean, I'm not surprised. It's a Porsche, and to be fair, the Porsche is probably one of the best cars around this circuit because realistically, it's really good in the corners and not so much on the straights. Yet with the tightness of this circuit, all you really need is cornering speed, because if you get any of these chicanes perfect, you're done clear. The only time that you might lose out is going through the final corners and D-Elite. So
I definitely
it
venture to
is.
say it's one of the best GT4s in general, especially because of that cornering speed. There's not many tracks where the straight line for the GT4s is too big of a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just one of those things. Andrew Rife back in the car, and it's a shame that he's not returned to commentary. He's opted to drive tonight, but we will not complain because Andrew Rife goes to the line. He's always an amazing driver when he's out on the grid. P number 2 for Andrew Rife, as we see Justin McKechnie, who is off and on the side. I'm pretty sure we know what's going to happen here. Too much speed into turn number 1. Off you go. Grass is there because it's a British circuit. Comes back on, loses the rear, almost sends it, and bing, bang, bosh, and that is it. Done. Big mistake on the exit of turn number 1 there, Trey.
Yeah, turn 1 is one of the harder turns on this track, just because it's the only one that really has like some runoff on the outside, and it kind of entices you into taking more speed than you normally would think you can. Yep, what's happening with the camera? There we go. Yeah, fixed itself. So going wide at turn 1 is a very easy thing to do, and if you go wide at turn 1 at all, it messes up, obviously, like messing up a corner messes up the rest of your lap, but it really hampers you in trying to set up turns 2 and 3, especially since you can't really see turns 2 and 3 until you're already there, as someone else has gone off.
It'll also take one of your speed tokens just about immediately.
Yeah, very, very true. We're going to get a replay of what happened there. Coming out the hairpin, which, of course, this is a big thing people forget. If you're wondering why Sector 1 is formatted like it is, Oulton Park is right next to a lake, and there actually used to be a golf course here, as that Porsche's just going to come over the side and back to the pit lane, so no big moment there. But before the track was built, it used to be a golf course, and there is a lot of golf balls in that lake, as well as fish. But it's actually against the rules to fish there because it's private land.
Interesting. Not surprising, I suppose, but very interesting. As we do have a fight for pole. I'm just realizing that Rife and Schwartz are less than half a tenth away from each other. Although Rife is sitting in the pits right now, so I don't know if he'll actually be able to do anything from there.
He just pulled in. I think he's probably getting fresh tires or something because he's practicing his pit entry. But I'm sure he'll go back out. He's only 500ths away from snatching that pole, so I know I would be back out there immediately trying to hit as many good laps as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of the things that it comes down to it. With Oulton Park, you can bide your time with it with how much time you've got, because in a GT3, it may seem slow, but in a GT4 and M2, as we see the KTM just go in, instead of understeering, it seems like maybe a snap of oversteer and just opting to take the grass route instead. As of course, it is going to be Matthew Schwartz, who's currently up top, 5'11" in the P1 position in the Porsche GT4. And that is a very interesting looking livery. It's pink, it's white, it's blue, it's Fanatec. Honestly, personally, I prefer Logitech.
I mean, that's fair, but am I remembering correctly that Fanatec also does all the jerseys for a whole bunch of sports series?
Yes, they do. Actually,
Okay.
yes, they do.
Well, that's one of the...
DJ Watts.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just DJ Watts into the pit lane. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, that's one of the reasons why I will always cheer against Fanatec, because their jobs doing jerseys is absolutely horrible. I really don't like the way that they do it. I hope we're not sponsored by them. I don't remember.
We're not. Don't worry. We're not sponsored by Fanatec. Fanatec, please sponsor us.
They might have to kick me out if they want that sponsorship.
Yeah, don't worry. We can opt to go with Logitech instead.
Yeah, after that comment, I don't think we're getting that sponsorship anytime soon.
Yeah, right, thanks, Trey. I think Jess is going to be having some words after we finish it.
Yeah, well, I'll live.
Quick. the chat, we're going to be honest. We were talking about it before this. We're going to have some professional moments when the battles happen, but we're going full Le Mans Nords commentary style here because we got nobody out on track right now.
Yeah. While we're waiting for someone, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get a wide shot. See if I can remember how this works.
That's all the cars in the pit, and
Drunk
from the chat, it seems like they might be forwarding the session a little early.
Yeah, it could be, because no one was really improving for a lot of that time. But, so this is your grid, right here. All the cars, only 2 liveries, I think, that didn't sync properly, but we have less people here than we expected. There were 32 teams signed up for the actual event. Oh, there we go. We do have our pulse hitter, so we're moving forward. But yeah, we have almost 10, 14 teams, I think, that are decided not to show up.
If there were 30, that is... Do we have about 12 teams if we had originally 30. So about 12 to 14 teams, yeah. So there we go. They do that, and we are still stuck in the drone cam. Let's get Trey cam, because we don't have the Selena drone cam. We have the Trey cam, and let's go through the grid. You know what? It is your first time here, Seth, so we'll let you take us through the grid order.
All right, well, sitting in P1 after a good pole lap is Matthew. Is it Matthew? I see their first names. Let's do their last names. Schwartz is in P1 in the Porsche. Locking out the front row with the Porsche is Reif again. In third place we have Kraus in the KTM. Respect to that. I cannot drive that car. In fourth place, McKechnie in the Porsche as well. Lee in fifth. I don't even know what brand that is. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't either.
In sixth place, Kiss again in the Porsche. And the last of the GT4 is going to be Naples in the McLaren. Starting your BMWs down the line, we've got Reynolds. I'll let y'all say his last name because I'm not really sure about that one currently. There you go. And then P10, Colton. P11, got Dan Cran. P12, Velasquez. Worley, Manperson, Riggs, Merton, Spangler, and rounding out the grid is Aoki in the back of the the M2s.
You made me speed up my camera.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're perfectly good. But yeah, so we got about 30 seconds till session start. We're going to be doing I assume there's a formation lap happening. But before that formation lap happens, we're going to go ahead and get a word from our sponsors. So we will be right back.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
All right, welcome back. As someone is sending that tire barrier flying there. We did have a little bit of an incident before the race started. I believe it was Naples. I could be wrong in that, but Naples, someone had a bit of an off in turn 1 during the formation lap. No big issues, no damage as far as I'm aware of. But, you know, we got to talk about it, so. I don't think I'll be able to pull it up, but I will see if I can. No, I went too far. I didn't go back far enough. Oh, well. But
looks like we had a driver change for the P6 Porsche as well.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. And there's also someone doing a pit lane start. Reynolds is currently sitting in the pit lane, but we are getting close to the pit lane start. Alexa, I will go ahead and let you do your wonderful, wonderful start.
Why, thank you very much. So Victor Diaz lines up on pole position. Another Porsche alongside. It's a front row lockout. As the formation lap comes to an end, all drivers now go double file. Here at Oulton Park, in the British heat, here at the Multiclass, GT4s, M2s, all eyes now go to the lights. It's green flag drops. We are racing. And that is going to be a very good start for Victor Diaz. And only looking for the outside is going to be white Porsche. KTM on the inside is going to be right there with him a little bit wide. He go try not to go on the grass too much. Coming now down through Craners into the left-hander, going down and deeper. You begin the run around the lake, down towards the hairpin, as you try and hold on to it as quickly as you can. Down into P number 7 is the Porsche, the Canadian, the 801, as the timing boards now begin to update, thanks to ACC's weird timings and not wanting to give us a live timing board. That is going to be Aoki, who's now making his way through, but it's still going to be Victor Diaz who leads. First of the 2 chicanes is now going to be coming up as they head now down into the braking zone, through the right-hander, into the braking zone. Try not to lose the curbs too much. KTM will have that straight line speed. Porsches will have it in the corners. The M2s basically road cars, so the GT4s will start to drive away, as you can already see. We've got one who had a pit lane start. They're starting further back. They're trying to make their way through the second chicane, and you begin the run through the final sector. The final corner is Leap. Andrew Rife, though, making his way through. The man who is usually busy is now back out on track, and he's come to make a statement on this lovely Saturday night. It's through the right-hander and onto the line, but you got to remember, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a 3-hour race. It's 3 hours of endurance racing action. He's got to be careful of the KTM behind him. Looking at Donovan Colton, though, he's going to be losing out to Dan Cran, everybody's favourite admin, as they head down the inside at Old Hall, up in through and over the Deer Leap. Also going to have Jonathan Vodley on, I believe, it's hard to tell because it's a little bit blurry on my end, thanks to Discord, but through turn number 1, it's going to be unlucky there, and that is how you start a lap, ladies and gentlemen, and that is one heck of a fight that we are watching between these M2s, Seth.
Oh yes, they're out there battling already. The GT4s at the front are also battling. I think that was Watts was right on the back of it. Something McKechnie must have made a mistake because he's dropped down to 6th place now from I think it was 4th. So he's dropped 2 positions, and as well as the M2s are going to blows. Very fun to watch these guys in the M2s, especially all being a lot of them D1 and D2 drivers. They're definitely going to get those fists out later in the race.
Yeah, most definitely. It's Victor Diaz who leads, followed by Andrew Rife. It's then Kraus, Watts, Naples, McKechnie, and then Dawn Boyle-Leo, who will round out the GT4s in the leading pack. It's then Ilpa Ruslainen, Dan Cran, Donovan Colton, Cortes, Guy Manperson, Jonathan Worley, and then Matt Riggs and Jeff Spangler. But right now, Andrew Rife under attack as they head into the final few corners, down into Old Hall, and it's into the right-hander, which he will hold out as Old Hall is further down. That is my mistake. I thought we were towards the end because Oulton Park is that short and snappy, but that is going to be Jack Kraus for Earl Motorsports, who is up and done into P number 2. Lock the sights, and that is a big
Oh no!
here in the back, and they're heading towards Old Hall. Under the bridge as 3 cars caught up in it. Let's see if we can get a replay on that from the helicopter cam, because that will definitely provide us a little bit more perspective here, Trey.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened. Someone went wide up in front of these guys, and it just kind of, yeah, I don't know who that is that went wide, but a lot of people went wide, and a lot of people just kind of careened into each other. They, I believe that's Spangler that we're currently following there in the black car. He was responding to the spin in front of him, and I believe he has pit. I hope that wasn't an RTG, but I do not know. But yeah, he was just responding to the person in front of him, trying to make sure that he wasn't gonna get hit by that spinning car, and he spun anyways, just by going too far wide there. As now we're watching Man-Person and Cortez side by side, possibly through the chicane.
You don't really want to do it with the chicane here, but it looks like they're going to try on the outside. Cortez tried to go high, but let's go, Man-Person. Lovely, jubbly, sound as a pound, done and dusted. Now here they come. You got Reynolds behind them.
Yeah, they're still side by side. Cortez has not been having a good start. I don't know how far he's moved, but he just lost 2 places in not even a lap, maybe half a lap. So we'll have to see as Reynolds gets a great boost there, going all the way around. And I don't know how he has so much extra speed there, because they're both in M2, so it's not like one of them had extra horsepower or something like that.
You would be surprised with that corner after the second chicane. It's the widest corner on the circuit. So through that, it's the widest corner on the circuit, that right-hander. So if you end up going a little bit deep on the entry, the inside line, because of the rest of the circuit, if you take that inside line, it sets you up quite a bit for the tighter part of the track. So it actually allows you to pass even though you're at a bit more speed. So that long right-hander there out the second chicane is probably the one corner where you do not want to make a mistake, because while there's not grass, you can keep it on the black stuff. It's very easy to go deep and lose time and momentum.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right now at the front of the pack, Kraus is all over the back of Diaz. It looks like he's shaping up a move soon. He's been real close to him the whole last lap.
Yeah,
trying to get in his head, it seems.
Yeah, he's been really close for a while. I don't think he's really been able to get around him, because as we were saying, that Porsche has amazing cornering speed, and so when all you have is a straight line speed advantage, it's a little bit hard to get close enough to train something. He's really close there, but decided not to try anything.
Yeah, that KTM, I'm sure he's done something to it for his setup, but it's kind of understeery, so it's a little sketchier on the corners than you would like it to be. But it does look like he's got a good amount of attack power. He's probably just shaping him up, trying to get in his head, show him that he's there, waiting for him to make a mistake, and then he's probably going to take advantage of that. It's 3 hours, so patience is a virtue here. If you make any weird, dumb moves early, you're just really asking to end your race. So I'm sure he's just starting the mental battle now and waiting for it to pay off later.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're watching this move as well. We've got quite a few battles happening out here on the circuit. There's a lot to keep up with, especially in these earlier parts. With the KTM, the Porsche's cornering speed is good, but that KTM, it's going to thrive in sector number 1. That's going to be the key part. Sector number 1, the run down towards the hairpin. The left-hander not so much before it, but the hairpin, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, as that is a big one there for the number 45. Big spin heading through the right-hander, which brings you down to Old Hall. And that is just extremely unlucky. For some reason, the yellow lights did not come up on the gantry, so apparently they thought they needed a green flag when there was a car half spun on the circuit. Don't question the Cheshire stewards, as there is, well, Cheshire marshals, as there is Peter, who is making
another spin.
Through another spin. That is not the same person, that's a different person, as you can tell by the number. But is this a contact, or is it just a spin on their own here, Trey?
Yeah, it was really close, but I don't think there was any contact. He just kind of spun it on an exit.
It looks like he may have just a little too much throttle mid carousel there and a bank turn off kilter. It's not very good. Oh, it looks like Kraus is trying to pull out alongside. It's not gonna work. He's thinking about it though.
He's gonna try something, I'm sure, but no, he
yeah,
doesn't.
He's shaping up a dive here soon, and their battling has brought Rife back to contention here soon. I'm sure he'll be right up on top of Kraus here shortly.
Yeah, he's been slowly reeling him back in. He fell back by about a second and a half at the start of the race, and he's slowly clove him back in since they've been fighting so hard with each other.
Yeah,
Indeed.
I think.
Ooh, big snap back there. McKechnie almost lost it. That's gonna allow, who is that, Naples for a run, and he's gonna do it. Can he hold it into the bank turn? And he does. It looks like he secured that for now.
We'll see if we can find this snap of oversteer just to rewatch it with a little bit closer.
On the left-hander here coming out, I think he caught the grass and just about snapped it. He saved it.
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah, it just went too wide there.
That's all it takes.
Let's give him props. That was a nice save.
That was a great save. Back at the front, they're on top of each other. The top three, going at it. Anyone's mistake. It's anyone's race still. 3 hours to go. A little flash and let them know, hey, I'm faster than you, or hey, I'm gonna make a move soon. Maybe just getting in his head.
Yeah, I don't think the flasher would really let him get out of the way, though. I don't think that worked that well.
No, it's definitely, at least the way I use it, it's definitely a, hey, look at me right before the apex to see if you can get him to make a mistake.
Riggs had an issue, big issue there.
Oh,
that is unfortunate.
That's gonna be major front end damage there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming out of shell oils, so that was unfortunate for him. As we see the leaders right now going through, of course, Old Hall Corner, down the avenue.
Side by side.
By side, gonna go through Jacquet, gonna go through Cascades, and is now gonna be going down through Lakeside and into the Island Bend, down towards Shell Oil Corner. Who's going to come out on it? The KTM. Is he going to go high? Is he going to go low? Is he going to bide his time? Because he's got to be careful, as you see the lake there, apparently, because ACC Corner's doing ACC things. But right now, going to be coming out of Shell Oils. Going to go down into Fulton's and then into Hilltop. And don't make this weird chat. But then we go down towards Knickerbrook.
Rife, I think is just waiting. He's just waiting for something, them to come together or something to happen, because he's just kind of being patient.
Yeah, he's definitely got the chance to do something here, because
he looked like he almost thought about sticking it up the inside of Kraus into the bank turn when he went high. I thought he was gonna stick it.
Yeah, probably decided for the better option of not doing that.
Yeah, it's a little early for dangerous moves like that.
Yeah, we're like just over 10 minutes in. We don't need to be full sending stuff yet.
Oh, he's showing his nose though. He's letting them know he's there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of me that's wondering if Kraus is just holding a little bit back just to make sure that he doesn't crash right now. Is he pops out a little bit?
I think he's just trying to keep the pressure on. I mean, it's definitely, for being the leader and having someone all up on you, you're definitely in your head a little bit, and it's really just a time game before you make one mistake, especially for 3 hours. I mean, we're all human, so it's bound to be a mistake somewhere. So you might be right. He might just be biding his time.
Yeah. Speaking of mistakes, we just watched Guy Manperson have a little bit of an issue to let Worley by, and there was also a quick yellow flag for Reynolds. I'll see if we can figure out what happened there.
Probably turn 1 of Old Hall, maybe a little bit too deep, as apparently they're going in and out of the pit lane, so maybe a bit of good old lag, but seemingly it may have just been the in and out of the pit lane, because of course if you get put in the pit lane it does yellow flag you, so maybe just a little bit of ACC things, as we're going to point this out because we do have reason to call in chat like they do in real life as, big one.
There's the rain.
But that is rain.
Oh.
It is realistic, apart from it's the wrong time of the year game. It's raining, it's Britain, and maybe, just maybe, this is why the KTM was so desperate to get past, because they wanted to get past the Porsche before the rain started to fall.
Yeah, and fun fact, the initial settings for this race, as described in the announcement, said that there would be no rain. There was, with the tiniest bit of randomness. And we're already at greasy track, so I don't think anyone was really expecting rain here today. I know I wasn't.
A big question is going to be how long is the... Oh, it is going for the move down the outside. Can he make it stick with the now greasy track? Ooh, a little slide.
Yeah.
That's going to allow Rife to make the move.
Yeah, Rife's going to go for it. Going to be looking for it down the river bend and into the final few. It's going to be the first hairpin. It's the only hairpin. It's the lovely hairpin here at Oulton. It's Shell Oil's corner. Andrew got that done and dusted. Lovely, jubbly, sound as a pound. I just want to say, none of you expected rain. It's Britain. It rains here all the time. Just ignore the fact we're in a heat wave right now.
I guess a good question is going to be how long is the rain going to last, and is it going to be worth it to even pit for wets at any point?
Well,
it's going to dry up quite quick.
Yeah, it's showing in the top right that it'll be clear within 10 minutes, as Diaz has a little bit of an issue there. So I don't think it'll be worth pitting at all. You're just going to have to try and wait this out. Because I don't know if it'll ever switch really to a point where wets are going to be quicker. Even if you did 2 pit stops for just a couple laps of quicker racing, probably isn't the best idea.
It's definitely not going to be worth it in the end, and I definitely think that he was right about being desperate to get back, because that KTM already suffering from understeer is going to have even harder time with the wet track. So these Porsches are, you can kind of see you're building a little gap to them slowly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that you kind of have to just take it in perspective. Of course, it's an endurance race as well, so you got to wonder how is this going to work? Is anybody going to be switching drivers? It's just one of those things that you just have to take into perspective.
Ooh.
If they are switching drivers,
Spin.
that is going to be... that is a spin around. We'll let you take us through this one, Trey.
Yeah, so I think this greasy track just catching him out a little bit. It looks like he kind of understeered through the corner to start the chicane and just couldn't really control it. So he ends up losing 2 positions. Won't be anything terrible. He definitely still has a lot of time to get it back, but definitely unfortunate, as Kraus is trying to maybe go side by side. No, he doesn't. But we do have our first blue flag event of the night.
Yeah, first traffic, so it's gonna be up to the leader to try and navigate that to hold his position. Looks like he's gonna get that nice timing, but they're gonna catch him coming into the corner, which is gonna slow him up and allow Kraus to get closer to Rife.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really know what the big speed difference between the two, so blue flag might be a little bit of an issue for here today.
It's not very big. I mean, it's there, but as you can see, it's kind of a crawl past. And of course, it's no obligation for the slower car to move over for you to pass. The overtaking car, they're just supposed to hold their line, so it's definitely up to the GT4s to get past clean.
Yeah, and we are now to a damp track, so I think we are to the point where wet tires would be faster, but again, it's going to stop raining somewhat soon, hopefully anyways. So again, pitting, definitely not the best option.
Yeah, no, I think they have to tough it out.
I mean, this is the thing for me. This is the thing. Obviously, it's not on park. So it's something that I did earlier on this week. Even though it's only 10 minutes of rain, the question is, when the rain stops, how long is it going to take for the track to dry up? Because yes, the rain can stop, but if your track is going to stay damp, where wet tires will be better for like an extra 10 minutes, you would probably catch back up. You would probably catch back up with the wet tires, possibly make a pass as well. So, of course, somebody did point out in chat saying just bump up the TC. But it's one of those things that you got to take into consideration. When will the rain stop? How long will the track take to dry up?
So, well, I think it's true that the wet tires you probably could catch. I think the only problem would be if it does dry up, then you're caught out with one more pit stop. So that's, I guess, where the strategy is going to come in. Do you want to risk it? Do you want to see if you can get a good gap to get a free pit stop, or do you just tough it out and hold the dry tires and pray that it does dry up a little faster than expected? And then, of course, make sure you stay on the dry line when it does.
Yeah, I think the thing that you would have to consider is, would switching to wet tires be worth 2 pit stops? That's
There's Kraus going around.
Oh,
Kraus
no.
is off the track.
Looks like
He
he
just had
managed
a
to
little-
stay straight, but
He got a little sideways. It looked like he just lost it coming into the turn here. Just a little. Yeah, it's just a little too much gas, it seems.
I think he touched the grass there actually. He looked very far to the left-hand side. So I think what that was, as we are looking into the air, I don't think that was oversteer. I think just with the rain.
And he does it again. He's
he
off
does it again. Round. So the case
it is.
again very much struggling in the wet weather. But
It must be getting quite wet out there because it wasn't anywhere near as bad as that until this last lap.
We're starting to see puddles on the ground, and we've been seeing, you can see there the spray coming off the back of the cars. So I think it might honestly, I don't know. For him, I don't know, because again, I still think that you have to ask, is it worth 2 pit stops? Now, at this point, with how hot his tires are, maybe. I don't know. But he's obviously having issues. Like, he just has another little oversteer moment there. So I don't think it's worth it for him. I just don't know how well his car is able to handle this kind of conditions.
Well, I know Watts is probably happy now. He just got the spot for the podium, tentatively, so.
Yeah, obviously, it's still a long race to go, but it is always nice knowing that you have that little bit of a extra gap there.
Exactly.
The good old Ginetta, the only car out on the circuit which has the driver's seat on the correct-hand side of the car around here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll let it slide this time because we're in the UK. He's right.
Yeah.
We're in the UK. You gotta let it slide. Also, I am not joking. If nobody knows what the Ginetta is, if nobody knows about the Ginetta, the driver's seat is on the right-hand side of the car. So,
is that a European brand? Because I have never heard of that.
Oh, speaking of Watts, we were just talking about how he was doing good. I think he just had an off moment. Yes, he did. He was on the grass there, and he hits the wall.
Oh, big one.
The aero damage plus the rain plus dry tires, that's not going to be fun.
Yeah, thankfully he doesn't look too bad there on the front. His hood is still in place, so I don't think it'll be too bad of an issue, but...
Ooh, a little shimmy coming out of there too. I think he's going to feel it a little bit. And I can see back there McKechnie flashing lap traffic. Let him know he's coming by. And McKechnie is all over Naples now. It looks like they've caught up to each other, and looks like we got a battle coming on here for, is that P4?
Yeah. So blue flag gets out of the way there, thankfully. So we're still able to have a good battle here for P4.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be the thing. When it comes to lap traffic, I think the hairpin's going to be the best friend, because the lap traffic can go high and the passing car can go low. So if the lap cars are on to let somebody pass, they can go through. Also, you were talking about, is it a European brand? A little bit of history here. The reason why we drive on the left-hand side of the road in the UK is because most people have right hand is dominant. So when you were passing somebody, so like back in the horseback days, when you were passing somebody, because your dominant was the right handers, that is gonna be the BMW M2. That is gonna be a big spin there, and unfortunately they are now going to be round, and they will not have a moment big into the barrier for number 27.
Just had a pass at the back. I think Cortez got around Mertzen, so that's another pass for position in the M2s.
Ah, he just went wide there. Yeah, so Mertzen just went a little bit wide there, and that allowed Cortez to get past him. And you continue your story on hand dominance.
So yeah, the reason why you originally went on the left hand side of the road was because the right hand is the dominant hand. So when you were passing somebody on horseback, you could shake their hand.
Oh, and McKechnie sticks his nose up the inside of Naples. He gets the pass done. Great move. McKechnie very good in the wet. I had to battle him last season, and he closed like a 10-second gap on me just in the wet, so this is definitely home conditions for him.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, just look at them. They're flying by, and that is absolutely lovely. And yeah, like the handshake was the British version. The Japanese drive on the left-hand side of the road, as that is going to be on the left-hand side of the road, off the road for Martin Riggs. And the number 27 is sat there. That is unfortunate for them. They are having a bad night so far, Seth.
And he RTGs, so I don't know if he's done, but it looks like he's decided to either come back and fix the damage and wait out the timer or what, but that's tough.
Yeah, and that gives me the perfect little segue, because that was bad luck there. The reason why the Japanese drive on the left-hand side of the road is because back in the samurai days,
P7's off. You're never gonna finish the story.
There's so much bad luck happening. It relates as well. As we're gonna see the Porsche go around, not even around, just opposite. Oh, big moment into the back, into the barrier.
Oh,
Because you keep talking about driving on the left side. They're not happy about it.
Yeah, the
person
reason
also
why
went
the
off.
Japanese. Oh god, my person also went off. Bro, what is this? I started talking about driving on the left-hand side of the road, and everybody who
Naples,
drives
trying
on,
to make a pass on McKechnie goes off the track into the wall.
there's way too much stuff happening here for an 18-person race.
It looked like McKechnie defended and he missed the braking point.
Oh.
Yep, just straight off the track. Oh, and a hard hit on the right.
That sucks.
big ol' hit.
Also, I'm going to try and catch Aoki's thing here that he did. We'll see if I can catch it properly. I don't think I will, but I will try.
Commentators curse straight, lol.
Yep, there he is. Just went a little bit wide there. So, now that we've had our fill of fun for hopefully this whole race, maybe you can finish your story.
The rain has stopped now.
Yeah.
It's not raining anymore, so hopefully it'll dry up and then we can get back to fighting.
Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah, so the reason why the Japanese drive on the left-hand side of the road is because back in samurai days, it was bad luck for sword sheaths to touch. And because the right hand was dominant, you wore your sheath on the left-hand side. And so you wouldn't wear it on your right, because if it touched with somebody else's sheath, it meant bad luck, as we see another car going off there at the chicane.
Yeah, it's Reynolds. No big issue, but, anyhow.
Rife is having a little tough time with a lot of lap traffic. He's losing a gap to Diaz in the front now, so that battle for P1 is getting a little stretched out.
That it is. But yeah, so quick history lessons here with Alexa. Didn't you know you needed it, but you did.
I have heard that one about the samurai, and that one's interesting. I didn't know about the British one though.
Yeah, it was actually. And to be honest, the main reason why Europeans drive on the right.
No.
Oh no, as that is going to be Aoki, I believe. Oh no.
It is
no,
Aoki.
The hairpin. It's out the hairpin as well. Oh yeah, way too much throttle there. Just spins it round.
Just a little tap on the barrier though, so.
Yeah, just giving it a little smooch.
Naples was getting close to Kraus. I guess must have had some understeer or something. Is now he's back 2 seconds.
Yeah, not sure. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and follow Man-Person, Cortez, and Mertzen, as they are the 3 closest people on track. And I believe all of them have damage. I'm not sure if Mertzen has damage, but I know that the other 2 definitely do.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
indeed. I think his car looks pretty clean back there.
Yeah, I think he had a little off at some point, but he apparently hasn't hit anything, so...
He did. I do remember. He did go off. Yeah, I don't think he made contact with anything. So unlike these guys ahead of him.
Not Aoki again.
No, no, poor Aoki. Like, oh, I don't know if this is just me, but this may just be me, but I see the M2s as the Miatas of not Miata, as the MX5s.
They are Miatas. MX5 is a Miata.
I see the M2 as ACC's Miata.
That's fair.
You know, the car that you just want to go up to and give head pats because it's just such a cute car as it drives around the circuit. Like, you can just imagine it with a really squeaky voice as it goes past each other. Like, do you know when you see those videos online of people making like Miata videos with like those really cute sounds? The M2 is the ACC version of that, in my opinion. Does chat agree with me? Chat, do you agree with me?
The BMW stands are not gonna be happy.
That's their problem.
That's their problem, not ours. We're filling the void because it seems like me talking about driving on the left-hand side of the road made the entire chaos that was supposed to come across 3 hours happen at once.
It's probably just from all the oil leaking out of the BMWs, though. So you know.
Yeah, that rain we actually saw was oil splatter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was oil. It was oil coming out the Ford Mustangs after it got the engine nerf coming into next season.
It's part of the BMW's pit stops. They have to add 3 whole quarts of oil every time they come into the pits.
Yeah, it makes sense. Are we sure they're not using oil as fuel?
I'm not sure. It's very possible.
All right, we will have to check on that later.
Yeah, we'll need somebody to just go down in the pit lane with a fuel measurer and just stick it in the car to like try and figure it out. See what they discover.
At that point, they're just 2-stroke engines.
That's true.
Yeah, basically.
See, I want a rotary engine back in racing. Because Mazda...
It would be broken by lap 5.
Well, that's not... Well... Shush. But no, Mazda won a few Le Mans races with a rotary engine because basically it only makes sense in racing because of the because it's got great power, but it eats through oil like there's nothing.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Cortez and Mertzen are kind of the only 2 anywhere near each other still.
Endurance racing. Speaking of endurance racing, coming up over in the 24 Hours of Le Mans right now, it's very, very dark. It's hard to see who is where, but currently for the SPGT cars, it is the McLaren 59 who leads there, as we are given a blue screen apparently on the 24 Hours of Nerve. It's then the BMW 150 who leads in P number 2, and they've just got rid of the timing boards. Thank you very, very much, 24 Hours of Nerds TV directors. I was trying to read through it. How dare?
Yeah, racing has had a lot of issues with timing screens recently. I don't know if...
Oh! McKechnie is off the track.
Great timing there with our screens. But yeah, McKechnie, I think he just went wide at T1 like we were talking about. Yeah, he did.
And he's going to lose that position to Naples now. He's right back in the fight though, and now they're pretty close. 7/10.
Yeah, where have we seen this before?
Yeah, I'm getting deja vu here, chat.
Yeah.
Like, I swear I've seen this before. Honestly, who knows? As this fight does continue here, it's Oulton. We've still got loads of racing action to come, so Stick with us here on the Sim Racing Alliance Twitch channel. And I know that this will probably get uploaded to YouTube as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to get notified every single time Sim Racing Alliance does go live. And leave a comment down below to help boost the algorithm so that we can find more people who would want to get involved with the Sim Racing Alliance, because oh my god, we've got so many amazing racers, so many racing tiers, and it's only gonna get better. And of course, it's gonna be interesting because this may be a different thing. I'll go last for this, but Seth, Trey, either one of you two can go first. What are you looking most forward to in the season reveal stream coming up soon?
Oh, I get to do my shoey for the first time, so that's gonna be fun. Adam and I are gonna figure out a fun way to do it together. So
There you go. Yeah, it'll be fun. Me personally, I'm just, again, looking forward to the liveries. I don't think it'll be as exciting as last year's, just because last season was fun. You know, we had Moffat with his Twitch livery, and it was a whole bunch of creativity. This year we're doing real life racing, and so basically a lot of people are going to be recreating liveries that they've seen in real life. I won't spoil what I'm going to be doing, but I think it'll be interesting. It's definitely going to be a laugh. Kind of poking fun at ACC for not putting in a certain car, but we'll get there.
got a quick question from the chat. Someone asked, is this EU or USA?
So
It's USA.
yeah, this is a national, North American league. Obviously, we have people. Ooh, sorry, interrupting myself. But we have side by side.
Wheel to wheel, side by side, out of the chicane, up and over, through hilltop, and over the crest, down the hill, down towards the second chicane. It's tight, it's rindy, it's down into the braking zone. It is McLaren versus Porsche, German versus British, here at Oulton Park, and it is the Porsche who will get in front. And that is a EU car in front, but this league is the USA. It is every Tuesday. It is every Tuesday and Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, if I'm doing my time zone calculations correct, or if you're in Europe, or if you're in Europe at 2 a.m. BST. So convert that to your time zones. But like Trey was saying, we've got lots of people from loads of different countries. Like, personally, I'm British, Trey is American, and it looks like we're going to have this McLaren go down the inside one more time at turn number 1, but not going to work out there either, Trey. I'll let you take us through the rest of the talk. What is Sim Race Alliance? Is a drive-through penalty for McKechnie.
McKechnie.
R.I.P. Porsche.
Too many speed tokens spent.
Also, the spin we just watched was Duong Bonglio, not McKechnie. I believe they're using similar liveries, but...
Oh, speaking of liveries, he asked another question. Do you have custom liveries on the servers? We do. You actually seeing a few of them right now, especially in the M2s, I think. I'm not sure if this is a custom livery for the
this one is
McKechnie's car. It is? So there you go. There's a good example. There's Mertzen has a custom livery on as well, as whoever was in the hard racing car as well is also running a custom livery.
Here we go. Dan Cran.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about liveries here. So let's fill in the void a little bit more, and let's stay on the topic of, like, the season reveal stream and everything, which will be happening live here at twitch.tv/sim_racing_alliance. But let's keep on this topic, because you were talking about liveries. Of course, Trey, you mentioned Twitch is asking about custom liveries. You talked about the Twitch livery. Apart from your own liveries, which one was your favorite from last season? Personally, I don't have a favorite livery because, as most people know, I was flip-flopping between every single goddamn division every single week.
See, that just means you got to see the spread. That means you should have more knowledge on which one could be your favorite.
You should.
Yeah, but there's so many good ones that I saw, I can't pick a singular one.
That's fair.
McKechnie coming in to serve the drive-through finally, so he's definitely going to drop a position or two. Talking about the liveries, I'm really only familiar with my division. And just because sticking with the theme of entertainment, I really enjoyed White Scarver and Gino's Cuphead livery. I like that. I think they put a good amount of work into that.
Yeah, the
That's a good one.
Cuphead liveries were amazing. I absolutely loved them. I already talked about Moffat in his Twitch chat livery. There were a few others that I saw that I liked. I don't remember what they are. I just know what they look like, though. That's the issue here. Is it's you don't really pay attention to who's got what livery when you're trying to just trade paint with them, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason that the Cupheads are so stuck in my memory is because I was sandwiched between them at Coda, fighting for my life.
Yeah, that would do it.
I just want to go to Twitch chat here real quick. This person in chat welcoming Chris, saying, "Can I drive on the servers, or is the ping too high? I am in the Netherlands." You can drive basically anywhere in the world. We have somebody working in the background to ensure that the servers are working correctly, and we have drivers in this league from, I don't think she raced this season, but we have had drivers in the past, and I do believe there is some who drive on the grid. We have people from Australia racing in these series. We have people from the UK racing in these series. People from Germany. So whilst majority of the grid is American due to time zones, you can be from any country and you can drive, as it is going to be an interesting one. And yeah, like Jess says in the chat, yes, EU racing is possible. You just need a strong internet connection and a 9-hour sleep schedule. Jess, why do I feel like you're calling me out there?
I think he might be more calling out who is it? I'm making myself really mad here, but give me a second and I will find their name.
ACC is it's pretty good even with a slightly high connection. Like if you're slightly in the 100s, you really don't notice it. At least that's my experience from public servers. I don't have too much, rubber banding or anything, even when people do have kind of high connection. But when you start getting any higher, it does kind of, ruin it for everybody. So as long as you got a good internet connection, you should be fine. And just like Jess said, we use a program called Awesome Sim Racing. It lets everybody upload their custom liveries, and we just all sync them before the race so you can see everybody's beautiful artwork on their car.
Yep, you'll be able to see it not only whenever you're racing each other, but also on stream. Obviously, we can see a lot of cool liveries here on stream, and when there's 40 people on the grid instead of just 20, it makes it a lot more interesting. Speaking of people, we've had 2 people disconnect.
Yeah, and speaking of liveries, actually, so that's unfortunate with the disconnects. Speaking of the liveries, I finally remembered the one which I like, and if you were watching the streams last season, you know what I'm about to say, because I always brought it up. I cannot remember the drivers or the team, but I know what the cars were. I believe it was D5 Trey, because it was Indianapolis, where I first saw them. The Ruby and the Rimuru Tempest liveries on the Honda NSXs. Those are my favourite liveries last season.
Yeah, I vaguely remember those. I don't remember them quite as well, because I only did a couple races in D5 before I got moved up. I personally liked mine the most, because, I made it, but, that's a little bit of favoritism there.
Yeah, I feel the same. Adam put in a lot of work to ours, so I did really like it, and it looked really good on the Aston Martin.
Yeah, somebody just said, but chat's just going on about how SRA's free, and Sean Daniels just saying, but what about the cruise fund? Sorry, but what about the cruise fund? That's the reason why we've got the sponsors and the Twitch subscriptions.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, did you know that you get a free subscription if you've got Prime?
I did know that. I've already used it though, unfortunately. So.
Trey, you're supposed to help us out here.
Look, I'm not gonna get the cruise. I'm not gonna give it to someone who doesn't deserve it.
We deserve the cruise, okay? We put in countless hours. We put in countless hours to race, so we deserve the cruise.
The only person who deserves the cruise is Al.
Yes, very true. Al deserves the cruise.
Meanwhile, out front, Riff has caught back up to Diaz. Had a little bit of a traffic issue there, but he is right on the tail of Diaz.
Oh, yeah, he's closed that gap big.
Yeah, and I need to step away for 2 minutes, so I shall let you two do the chaos. Jess, keep him in check for me.
Is there a stint timer in this race? Are you aware?
There is. So it's 48 minutes, 48 minute stint timer. So basically, everyone has to pit at roughly 45 minutes.
Okay, so we're coming up on that here in the next few laps.
Yeah, so we will start seeing pit stops. We have already had some pit stops. With Duong Bunglio has already pit, and that's why he's behind Reynolds there. But,
is this
yeah.
is it pronounced Rife or Riff?
I assume Rife, but I could be wrong. Meanwhile, we're side by side for the lead.
Going for the little switchback. Oh, and he's gonna stick it along the side, coming down. Oh, he goes for his pit.
Into the pits.
So that's gonna be our first pit from the leaders.
Hopefully he doesn't speed, and I don't think he does. So there we go.
No.
Our first big pitter.
So it seems that he wants to try for an undercut. I wonder if Diaz is gonna come around the next lap and try to cover it off. Why he's got those cold tires. Oh, he didn't stop. Did he? What was that all about? He didn't have a drive-through, did he?
I don't think so. I hope he could.
Well, he's back on track now.
He could just be trying to go longer, but I don't know. Maybe he accidentally went to the pits.
Does a drive-through reset the stint timer?
I have no idea.
Okay.
We'll just defer to his team name of 3/4 of Ascend.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll see. It's bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah, I don't know if 3/4 of a pit stop will really work though. So we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, a while ago there was an incident here with a very big incident. We'll see if I can catch that. But Duong Bunglio went off track.
Oh, there it is, and he's off there, but he just looks like he rejoins.
Yeah, I don't know where he had his incident then.
Do you think Rife maybe is trying to bait Diaz to pit and then overtake him and then keep that longer stint out on those tires? Maybe he's gonna try and double stint the tires. Maybe driving through resets the stint timer. So
yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If he gets disqualified, we'll know the answer. But yeah, so we have a lot of people here in the pits now.
Yep, it looks like a big group. Let's see if Diaz is coming around to turn one, if he's going to pit. And he is. Getting hung up by Duong Bunglio on the entry. That's going to cost him a little bit of time.
Yeah, shouldn't be too big an issue, but it all really depends on whatever in the world happens with Rife. Because he's not going into the pits again, and I don't think he'll have time to come back around and pit before his stint timer runs out. Assuming that it didn't reset. If it does reset, then he's perfectly fine, and he could just be trying to go really long.
So being a 48-minute stint timer, I guess we'll find out at, 2 hours and 12 minutes left?
Yeah, basically.
Well, I guess we'll have our answer then, as Diaz comes up behind Kraus. So Kraus must have successfully gone for the undercut there. And I think he definitely lost time to being stuck behind Duong Bunglio on the entry, so that probably costed him P2 there for now.
So part of it also could be the tire restrictions. So if I remember correctly, each team only has 3 sets of tires that they can use for qualifying and the race. So assuming you use one set in qualifying, I mean you could probably use it again, but you would probably only get. You essentially have 3 sets of tires for 4 stints, and so you can't take new tires each one. So we could see a difference in tires eventually, especially with pit length.
Okay, so that's interesting, because that's going to determine whether you took your quali tires into the first stint, or if you decided that you were going to two double stints, I think was what would have to be to get to the end. Yeah. On 2 sets of tires. So yeah, that's going to be a big pace differential depending on what you decided to do.
I mean, you would be surprised. Like you'll be very surprised. The M2s are very good at tire saving. The GT4s, not so much.
Yeah, those definitely, especially running most of them probably running at TC off. So they're definitely going to be spinning some tires a little bit.
Yeah. So, since the rain has gone off for quite a while, we are back up to track optimum. I, unfortunately, need to go take care of something, but I will set this to autopilot and be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the SimRacer Alliance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this SimRacer Alliance aircraft, and this is an A320 Neo. We'll be taking you to Watkins Glen this evening. We will be taking this over a 7.5-hour flight. We'll be calling at Ascension Island, as well as New York Kennedy JFK. And this flight is, of course, a first-class only flight. It's a good old charter. And welcome to the SimRacer Alliance. I'm your pilot. My co-pilot this evening is Seth Roker. And welcome to the SimRacer Alliance. And, of course, it's not a plane, it's racing. And that is a very lovely looking car, the good old black and gold.
So I don't know if you heard while you were, I know you were gone. Are you aware or sure if just driving through the pits resets the stint timer?
I don't know because I've never tested it.
Okay, so the debate we were having while you were gone is we saw Rife. He came into the pits but just did a little drive through. And he didn't. Okay, in the chat they're saying yes, it does. So that seems like it's gonna be Rife's strategy. He drove through, reset the stint timer. I guess he's double stinting those tires that he started on, which has given him quite the gap to the P2 behind. It's about 16 seconds. Kraus jumped. Who is it? Diaz in the pits. So now we've had a big change up at the front of the field after that pit section there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that you really need to take into account. What are these tyres going to do? Because do you want to take fresher tyres towards the end and go on a push? Or do you push at the start and hold out at the end? It's like, that's the big question that is probably going to be in the minds of people. Because if you're changing tyres, that's 30 seconds. As I do believe that is a Porsche and a Porsche. That was Andrew Rife, actually, I think, who's just flown by. No, I think that's somebody else, actually.
No, it is. You're right. It's Rife coming by Naples, I think that was. Oh, Sexton. And he's coming over McKechnie now. He's lap traffic for him. So he's quite out in front after his click little reset that he did to his stint timer.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people forget this. Oulton Park is is one of the shortest tracks here in the UK. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it's the second shortest track just behind Thruxton, which is up in Scotland. So if you're going to divide it by country, in England, Oulton Park would be the shortest. However, by UK, it would be Thruxton, which is, of course, up in Scotland, which is, by craziness, as that is Rene Oki once again going off the circuit, as for some reason, the autocam put us to Wally instead of watching him. Just Spangler into the pit lane.
And as McKechnie is going to let Rife through after a little bit of flashing. I guess it's a good point that Trey made, that there's only 3 sets of tires that for I think the entirety of quality and race. So we're going to have some big grip differential at the end, I think, depending on who decides to take the last stint as a double stint and those who decide to pit to get fresh tires for a last stint. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so that's going to be the big difference right now. I mean, Andrew Rife leads currently in this race. And then P2 with the fastest lap is going to be Kraus, followed by Victor Diaz, then Watts, Reynolds, McKechnie, and then Sexton. It is then Ilpo Rutsalainen, followed by Wally Dankran, Cohen Spangler, Velasquez, Aoki, Mort, Manperson, and Kiss, as that is a little bit wide there for DJ Watts around this current track. Who have we got? We haven't actually mentioned this, so let's say a hello to everybody who is in the chat. Welcome in Jess, welcome in Cassera, welcome in Sean Daniels, welcome in Vemazin, welcome in Ak, and welcome in Chris. So welcome in everybody, welcome in and have a fun time. Thank you for joining us here on thank you for joining us here, and welcome to the Sim Race Alliance. Whether it be the Saturday or the Sunday, whatever time it may be for you in your time zone. Personally, I know for me it is technically the Sunday, and thank you for the follow, Chris. And I know, but technically for you, Seth, it is Saturday. So,
Yes, it is.
time zones are a fun thing. Which I just want to point out, we're 1 minute past 2 o'clock. So, right now, this would be, if this was the weekday, how it would work. As Guy Manperson is going to gain a position there, getting past Mort. So that is a lovely little fight that is happening here, heading out through the right-hander and up through Dia Leap. That is lovely jubbly, sound as a pound, as we got another European in the chat. Let's go, as we see that Thrustmaster sponsorship on the rear wing. And you know what, let's get some interaction going here, chat. It doesn't matter if you are on wheel or if you are on controller, let us know what you use to go racing. Personally for me, then Seth can go. I use a Logitech G920 because I'm new to using wheel.
Hey, that makes 2 of us.
I am on the Fanatec DD, the 8 Newton meter, with the, not the flex, but the Bentley wheel on it. And then I'm using the Moza CRP2 pedals.
Did I hear a Mr. Train Morgan in the background?
Yeah, I'm back. But yeah, I also use a G920. I've used it for 3 years, and it's still not broken, so I'm not replacing it yet.
Meanwhile, you got me, who got my wheel, then 2 weeks later decided to get a rig because I could not be bothered with my wheelchair moving back every single time I pressed the brake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
I'll get some. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying we got some answers in the chat. The Mason says he's on the Moza R5, and Chris says he's on the Thrustmaster T300, while Sean Daniels says, "I just run. I'm pretty fast."
Yeah, he uses his Mark 1 legs.
We have Diaz is dropping off really bad from the pack. He came out behind Kraus only 2 seconds, and now he's down to an 11-second gap. I'm sure that traffic there had a little part to play, but I don't know if it's the fresh tires or what's going on, but he's losing like a lap to Kraus.
I mean, he could just be... Well, he's lost more than a second a lap. I think he had a mistake last lap, because his last lap was a 147, and Kraus's last lap was a 143.
Yep.
You know, I missed an overtake. I need to share it. Colton... I think it was Spangler and Colton. I missed it again, but Spangler, our team championship winner last season, in the back there with his M2. Well, in the middle.
Definitely.
And at Trey in the chat, Adam says if it breaks and you want another G920, he has one for sale.
I would like to upgrade from the 920. I want a direct drive to break my hands on. Thank you.
That's great. Can't wait to break your thumbs. It's always a good time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about the championships and everything. We talked about what liveries were liked, but what track would you like to see on the calendar next season? This may be a surprising one from a commentator's perspective. But personally, I would love to see Zolder back on the calendar.
I loved when we raced at Zolder in season 13, I think it was. I had a lot of fun racing there. I was in the Mustang, so I was able to just power out of corners. I forget who it was, but I was able to just ride the curbs a lot better than I expected, and so there were a lot of weird places that I got overtakes on.
I always have very good close racing at Zolder, and I know my teammate Adam's gonna hate me for saying this, but I very much enjoy just the Nürburgring GP circuit.
Oh my god, yes! Finally, somebody else who likes the Nürburgring GP circuit.
I like it, just not in the wet. Oh no! I hate to bring up Aoki again, but he just had an incident.
Oh man!
I need to start showing these on track. He's getting too much camera time.
If Diaz continues at this pace, Watts will be on him in no time, probably within 5 laps because it seems he's almost lapping a second faster than Diaz now. And that Janetta that Alexa so graciously pointed drives on the wrong side of the car.
The wrong side. Excuse me, we're at Oulton Park. It's the correct side.
I mean, he said you got one time, and you used that one time, so.
Let's why don't we get some chat interaction, chat? If you're in SRA or if you're looking to join SRA, let us know what track you'd like to see, or just maybe what your favorite track is.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and say mine. I know I said I like Zolder, but what I really want to do is race at Laguna Seca.
Yes, actually, I was just saying that.
Yeah,
yes.
I've raced there so much in the original Assetto Corsa, in just about any car you can think of, and I love it. From a commentator's perspective, from a racing perspective, the corkscrew, it's just amazing. Someone spun, no kiss. He's had all sorts of issues if you just looking at that bumper.
Adam in the chat agrees. He wants to see Laguna.
All right.
Right. Stewards,
oh look, he
admins organize. admins organ. Oh wait, yeah, his hood was.
Hang on.
His hood was in the air when he went into the barrier, but now he's come out the barrier and his hood's down.
Interesting.
Oh my god, I'm calling it a hood. No.
Yes.
A bonnet.
It's a bonnet.
Join the dark side.
No.
Hood.
No.
Why would you want to say bonnet? It's longer. Just say hood. It's one syllable.
And also, it's not a piece of fabric that goes around your head.
Also true. It's also called a trunk. Did you know that?
I've heard it called a frunk before, but not a trunk.
It's a boot.
Or maybe on the Porsche. On the Porsche, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a boot because it's next to the bumper. They both start with B's. Boot and bumper.
Is that like a true history lesson? Because I actually have always wanted to know why they call it a boot.
My assumption is just because that's where you throw dirty boots.
Or is it because, like, so a bonnet goes on your head and that's at the front of the car and the boot is like the feet of the car at the back?
That would also make sense. I don't know.
Yes, actually.
It makes sense. I don't like it.
Neither do I, and I'm British, but it does make the most sense. Like, the front is the highest, so that's where the bonnet goes, and then you got the rear, which is the boot, so that's where your boots go.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still say trunk and hood, but you know.
Yeah, because it's correct. As Sexton goes a little bit wide here. Right in turn 3 again. Oh, he just wasn't. I don't know if he just wasn't expecting turn 2, but he had issues all the way through that corner. Because I'm gonna try and find someone that we can ride along with, but turn 2 is completely blind. Like, you don't know it's there.
Yeah, it is.
That's actually turn 3.
Oh, he's right.
Shush.
Technically.
Technically, it's turn 3 because turn 2 is a king, but you know.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So this is turn 1 here.
Yeah.
And then turn 2 is the downhill right-hander, and from here you can't tell that there's a corner. You just drop off a cliff, and I don't know if you saw that, but on the right side there's I'm gonna go to Cran here. On the right side there's a sign that says "Go left," and you do not go left.
Oh, classic average British track.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like our tracks are actually difficult and don't have loads of runoff, and we don't have barriers basically right next to the circuit, which means if one car goes into it and there's still cars coming, it's going to create a massive incident by spewing them back onto the track. When?
Well, you see that sign telling you to go the wrong way. It's just it emulates the British driving on the wrong side of the road, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. If you look at it from an aerial perspective, you're already in the right-hander by the time you are already in the right-hander by the time you reach that sign, which is the point where you want to start turning left.
Well, yes, by the time you reach it, but when you're the time you see it, you're just coming out of turn 1. So I guess it could be. We're racing drivers, so we study the track, of course. But I guess if you're driving on it blind for some reason, allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you know what? Let's get some visual on Jeff here. I think if Jeff Spangler is in the lobby, because we have Purple 7 Even, I should say, saying no beans livery on Jeff SMH.
Yeah, he's just doing basically just a full black Madhouse racing. There's a little bit of splatter there, of color on the front and back, but that's about it. It looks like they're almost bump drafting through that corner there.
What is this, NASCAR? Get out of the UK.
I mean, they got flat enough fronts for it.
Yeah, true. That is very true.
And I mean, on iRacing, I think it is on some tracks, people will pay other people to bump draft them through corners.
I mean, chat. I just want to point this out. We're now 1 hour into this race.
Yes, indeed, we are, and it looks like
Whoa. Hi, Maka. Bye, Maka.
We're gonna.
And that was who was that? Sexton?
Yeah, that was Sexton again. That was a great view there from the front view. I'm shocked that they didn't come together.
Yeah. Oh. Whoa.
It's a good save too. Kept it out of the wall.
Wait. Whoa. Almost went into Porsche though.
Yeah.
They must have been millimeter. Oh, we got a yellow flag. Oh, Donovan Colton.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
what?
Way too much throttle.
Watts is slowly catching Diaz. It looked like Diaz had recovered his pace a little bit, but now he's back in the 46s, and Watts is running 44s. So I think pretty shortly here we're gonna have a battle on our hands. That Janetta.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it.
Yay. Good old Janetta. It's a shame. It's a shame it doesn't have a. It's a shame it's just carbon fiber.
You can probably blame me for that. So.
I also don't have it. I think maybe it uploaded wrong to Awesome Sim Racing or something. I'm not sure.
It could just be that he forgot to upload it too. So.
That's also possible.
Yeah.
GT4s. I'm just looking at chat here. GT4s don't have to, right?
They have TC.
Oh.
They do have TC,
Yeah,
but most people run in ACC will run it with it off. It's just faster. It can be a little squirrely, so most people run it off or at 1.
Yeah, so, you go over 1 in a GT4. You're losing so much time out of the corners.
Yep.
Even as a controller, even when I was on controller, in a GT4, I never ran TC above 1 because it's just you just lose that much time.
Yeah, the only class of cars that don't have TC in ACC, I believe, are the Porsche Cup cars. I think those are the only ones here that don't have it.
You would be correct. It is. Yeah, you would be correct. It is the Porsche Cup cars.
I don't think there's any classes that don't have ABS though. I think they all have ABS.
Yeah, all have ABS and TC, apart from the Porsche Cup cars, which only have ABS and no TC.
Yep. And Diaz and Watts only 2 seconds now, so it's getting close here. We're getting some battles on our hands, and who is that we're watching now? Aoki and Mertson?
Yes, but we'll go ahead and move up front here.
Yeah, indeed it is. As DJ Watts is still closing in here, and as you can see, it's the correct hand side. It's the right hand side of the car, which is the correct side. Although,
it might be the right hand side, but it is the incorrect side.
I mean, I'll be real. If I'm driving a Janetta, because I'm so used to driving with all the other cars on the left-hand side, I will change the camera to be like in my Aston Martin, like a hypercar camera, where it's just sat on the actual, where all the displays are.
Yep.
Like on top of the displays, looking through the windshield on the left-hand side.
So let's talk about this, Alex. Are you left-handed or right-handed?
I am right-handed.
Oh, so let's think. You're driving a standard gearbox, right? Wouldn't you want your dominant hand to be the shifting hand?
Well, here's the thing. You want your dominant hand to be on the wheel because you can put as much strength then into the wheel whilst you are shifting in case there is a slight issue where the car may undulate a little bit. So You want your least dominant hand on your shifter, and then you want your right hand. Then you want your dominant hand on the actual wheel. So
Maybe it's just being
realistically-
from being an American, but I'm right hand dominant.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess just from driving on the left hand, I've always like when I go to make, switches on my wheel to change something like TC, I always take my right hand off, and my left hand, I don't know, it's just better at driving. I guess.
That's what I do too, but I think that's mostly just because whatever your dominant hand is what you have more dexterity in, and you need the dexterity more for moving stuff around than keeping it on the wheel.
And that's what I would say for shifting as well. I don't know. I feel like I need more dexterity to shift than I do to steer, and that maybe that's backwards, but that's how I feel.
No, I'm complete opposite then, because like my buttons on my wheel, like when I'm changing stuff, like going through the heads-up display, I use my left hand to go through that, and I drive with my right hand.
I think that's just got to be a product of where we live, because you're probably used to taking your left hand off the wheel to change the radio or whatever that may be.
That's probably the case.
Yeah, I don't have a driver's license.
Oh,
well, never mind then.
Only 19, okay. I don't have a driver's license, and
I got my license when I was 16.
Well, you see, Trey, this may be a bit of a culture shock for you, but we have this thing called working public transport.
I don't know.
You know what? He's got us there. He's got us there, man.
Not everyone drives a car here. The only reason why you would drive a car here is if you have to travel long distance for work. Okay. Even then, you use public transport. Well, then again, public transport can be very delayed during rush hour.
Would it shock your UK brain to tell you that I used to drive an hour and a half to work every morning?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your long distance drive?
Yeah.
I will say, Aoki just had another off. I'm not gonna replay it though. I don't need to shame him more.
Poor Aoki. I mean, from where I live, I can get via car. If I'm going via car, I can get to Edinburgh in 4 hours, and I can get to London in 6 hours. If I go via train, Edinburgh is 2 hours, London is 3 hours. I can get to the south coast of the UK in 6 hours.
But that seems like poor infrastructure almost for driving, because for us, right? I mean, what's the tip to tip for UK? What's that distance in terms of driving? Like if you were to go straight, or really, I guess, however it is now.
Honestly, I've never measured, because with the UK it's very different, because it's like the lowest point of the UK is technically an island, and the highest point of the UK is technically an island.
Oh, okay. Diaz just went wide, and Watts is through. Now to the podium.
Yeah, they're side by side there.
I wonder what happened to, because Watts pitted for new tires, so he shouldn't be struggling with grip. Or maybe he's getting tired already.
Maybe just a little bit too much throttle, and he had to catch the rear end going through the right-hander.
Well, he had great pace. I mean, as you remember, he was P1, but I mean, now after the pit, he came out behind Kraus, and then, I mean, 29 seconds between them now, and now Watts has come back from, I think, 10 seconds he was back and caught up and passed him. So I'm wondering what happened.
It's the superior engineering of driving on the right-hand side around the British circuit.
See, I should have seen it coming.
that would not have worked if it was a different circuit.
You know, wait, let's go back to that. So, I mean, for us, like, if I wanted to take a day trip to Florida, it's a 4-hour drive, and you drive straight pretty much the whole time. So you just drive, go to the beach, and then drive back. And then, so that's just like a normal day trip for us. So it sounds like 4 hours would get you across most of the island over there.
Yeah, no, it would. Because, like, that's just the way it is. It's 6 hours via car to London, at least. But this is the thing about the UK. It's very long, but it's very thin compared to other
Kraus
countries.
is off.
Yep.
Oh, Kraus
Oh.
has had a moment. P number 2, that is into the barrier. That is out of the first corner. We will get a replay on here. Rear end just slips out going into the corner. I think those tyres are dead to rights. He's going to have to come in and fix those tyres because they're going to be hot, 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 just like this UK heat wave.
And then that's his gap gone as the P2 and P3, sorry, P3 and P4 are gonna be pretty close now. Within 13 seconds, over an hour and a half now, or hour and 45 we've got left. It's not a big gap.
No, it's not. It's definitely, it's very much, sorry, excuse me. That you should be able to count it down pretty well, especially with the tire issue that Kraus will now have for a few laps with that overheated tires.
Great. And did he make contact with the barrier?
I don't think he did. He might have while he was trying to get around, but I don't think it would have been major contact if it was any.
Okay, so he shouldn't have too much aero damage then. But yeah, it's definitely they're already cutting off 2 or 3 tenths from what he had. Oh, and he looks like did he make a mistake just now? Let's see. Yeah, he's sliding all over the place. Oh, he just slid again coming out of that.
He needs new tires. I think we can agree on that. He needs new tires on that.
Yeah.
And the
And
problem
I'm
is,
wondering-
I don't think he can pit. He has another 15 minutes until his next pit timer runs out, and he has to reach that pit timer because he only has, I think it's 48 minutes per stint. That's the maximum that he can do, and that doesn't get him back. 2 48-minute stints doesn't get him to the end of the race from right now, so he has to do a couple more laps on these tires.
And talking about Rife, it does seem like he's got like a massive gap. You have to remember he did not stop for tires, so he does not have the disadvantage of fully stopping the car. So the gap is actually not as big as it reads on timesheets right now.
Yeah, very true. Speaking of timesheets, back to what we were talking about, Mr. Seth. The UK, it's very long, but it's very thin. And to put it into perspective, why us Brits complain a lot about the heat wave which is happening right now, we're completely surrounded by ocean, and you are never more than an hour drive away from the sea.
So why don't you go to the beach and cool off? Sounds like it should be pretty easy.
Because, you see, the sea traps heat.
Yeah.
And the sea is the reason why we can't cool off. Because there's so much moisture in the air.
Well, then why don't you go to the North Sea? That's cold. It's a lot colder anyways than the Atlantic is.
Oh, the North Sea is a lot more dangerous.
We're not asking you to go swimming out in the middle of it. Like, you're not going out to the sea base out there.
Well, you see, it's because, one, I can't drive, and
Skill
two,
issue.
and two, the Atlantic
Reynolds
is
is
just
off.
better. No, Reynolds. Everybody's spinning this evening.
It's only a matter of time at this track. I mean,
Oh,
there's
he
no
went
room.
way off.
Oh yeah, bro, what the heck happened there?
I think
right,
he just
the
missed
real,
turn 2.
Yeah, right. I think the real question is here now, though, the way that we're looking at it. When is Andrew Rife going to spin?
Yeah. Will he spin is the question.
I don't know. Maybe he's
at this
spending all his
current
time
rate-
practicing for this. Like, the last 3
So-
years has built up to this very moment.
Which one of those would be worse for commentators' curse? Is saying when he spins or if he spins?
I would assume when, because that already covers the if.
Yeah, okay, it's true.
But you never know. Also, I think that's blue flagger side by side there in the back, so not a battle for position.
Yeah, he just let him pass, so yeah, that's definitely not a battle for position. 8 GT4s on track, and 9 M2s. Ooh, Croatian driver of Tom Kiss.
Yeah, he has not been having the best of days so far. He had a big incident, if I remember correctly, in the beginning stages, and so he's 4 laps back from anyone right now. 5 laps back, actually. He's 5 laps from the leader, but he's been doing
It does
okay.
look like Kraus is kind of recovered from his spin. He's slowly increasing the gap now to Watts and Diaz. Diaz now not really letting go of Watts, which is good for him. Maybe he's sorted out whatever was happening, but he's definitely got him in his sights. He wants that that last podium position back.
Yeah.
Yeah, as welcome into the chat, River Fox. Thank you for joining us here for the endurance event here at Oulton Park. And gentlemen, this is one thing we haven't really mentioned. It's not GT, but it kind of is, because it does affect category seasons. Kyalami. The news
about
F1?
Oh!
Yeah. Oh, what's up?
Existence.
Oh my God, Andrew Rice.
Oh, you did! You cursed him!
It.
You cursed him!
I'm so sorry, Andrew.
Ugh.
Oh,
curb.
no.
Too much curb. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Andrew.
It's okay. The good thing for Rife is that he had a massive gap, so that won't hurt him too bad. He's still, what is that, 26 seconds between, even after the spin?
Yeah, he's got a bunch of time behind him. He does have a lot of BMWs right behind him, though.
Ooh, drive-through for Kiss now.
Yeah. Probably, unfortunately, won't affect the race too much, but still very unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
As Mertzen
and
goes off.
Mertzen's off.
Nothing too big, though. Just a little bit in deep. He looks to be okay, as people are dodging all the way behind him.
Little bit of an excursion. Just gonna do a bit of Oulton Park sightseeing. It seems just going off the road, going to see the animals that live in the trees. A few of the birds.
He just wanted to park and go visit the lake.
He parked at the wrong side of the circuit. He wants to see the lake. He's got to park between turn 3 and turn 4 to spot the lake.
He wanted to enjoy that nice cool air that's characteristic of Britain, of course.
Well, cool air. We have cool air. Have you seen our temperatures recently?
Yeah,
Do you know how our infrastructure is built? Do you know how our humidity is? Do you have any idea about when it gets like this, there is no breeze at all for some unknown reason?
It's only 86. What is it, 30 degrees Celsius?
Yes, thankfully it's cooled down now because it's 2:28 in the morning, but
Yeah.
earlier it was absolutely boiling.
Yeah. If it's 30 degrees, that's only 86. I dealt with that for a full week this week. That's nothing. I know that you guys, like, your houses are built to trap in heat, so you're cooking yourselves, but that sounds like a you problem.
By the way,
that sounds like a me problem. You know what it sounds like? The people who built my house back in 1997.
97 isn't that far ago.
By the way, today in Louisiana, it was 96 degrees with 80% humidity.
That's 36, well, 35 and a half, but 36 degrees Celsius for you non-Americans. And I can't say non-Americans, because everywhere else uses Celsius. Except for I think, like, reason. Liberia.
For some reason.
We just wanted to be different.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's unfortunate. But one thing that is also unfortunate is Kiss's drive-through. Let's try move away from talking about temperatures. We've done that 3 times now.
You were talking about Kyalami before you got cut off.
Yeah, let's go back to Kyalami. Grade 1. So, what are we thinking with Kyalami? Because, are they going to make slight changes? Oh, number 21's off.
Also 35, McKechnie. Oh, he went through the inside there.
Oh, yeah, he will. No. Oh, he tried. Oh,
That's going to be a lot of damage.
That's got to be like a full minute of repair damage right there.
He almost got away with it. Like, if he didn't hit that barrier, he would have got away with that.
I mean, not that well, because it's intentionally designed there so that you can't skirt through the middle. Like
save the poor souls that would get taken out if so.
Exactly.
Talking about Kyalami, The track is pretty good as it is. I'm not sure if they'll make changes. I think it would make a great track for F1. I think it'd be an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with Kyalami, with what it was, is that the actual track wasn't the problem. It was the infrastructure around it, so like the pit lane, the grandstands, the service road. So I don't think they're making any changes to the actual track. I think all it's going to be is like adding some new grandstands, adding some service roads, maybe resurfacing the track.
Kyalami's
So,
the South African track,
The
right?
case, that sounds like a bonus. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, Kyalami, South Africa.
We got some love for Kyalami in the chat. Chris says he loves Kyalami.
Everybody loves Kyalami. Like,
I don't know
like-
Kyalami, so I can't say that I love it.
I'm gonna be honest. I do not enjoy Kyalami in GT3s, but I do like watching it.
What? Kyalami's goated. Everyone's a Kyalami fan. Even
But
if
I'm just bad at it. It's a skill
even-
issue.
Like, honestly, everybody's a Kyalami fan. Even if you go to the Interlagos guys and they say Interlagos is the best racetrack in the world, they're a Kyalami fan. And yes, I just ripped off Sebastian Vettel.
It's okay.
Well,
Diaz and Watts are still, I think, one of the closest fights going on. He's just holding that gap at 1 second.
yeah, they were down to a little under half a second, but they have fallen off so far. So, as for tracks that other people hate that I love, the talk of, for last season when we did Indianapolis as our first race, watching everyone else despise it was absolutely hilarious. Especially since I
don't know
love
why.
the track. I don't either.
It's not an enjoyable track. It's kind of flat, but it's a pretty fun track. I know it never happened, but I would love to have Daytona in this game.
I so wish we could do Daytona. Daytona.
Don't remind me of the Project Cars 2 days. Do not, like, honestly, I don't think people will realize this, because, of course, iRacing, you have Daytona. Like, PC has iRacing for Daytona. But we have not had, we genuinely have not had Daytona on console since Project Cars 2, and oh my god, before EA decided that they wanted to make that game end, Project Cars 2 was so good. Like, I remember
Crash that
using
issue
Madeline
again.
P2 as, yep, big spin, rear end drops out, everybody's spinning.
Yeah.
We're just getting replays of everybody spinning. As we got somebody, we got some PC talk going on in the Twitch chat. So looks like somebody's trying to upgrade the PC. But speaking of which, actually, because like I'm a console person, but we've got ACC Evo dropping later this year, which should have crossplay on release.
If they
Keyword
actually,
should.
yeah, if they actually get the game to work and have more than like what 5 cars that they had at initial release for their pre-release that they were doing, it'll probably be good.
I don't know. Have you seen those? the YouTube videos of the console drivers? They kind of scare me.
Right,
That's fair.
No, here's the thing. People only ever see the bad console drivers.
That's because that's the
there
only
is
thing that
actually-
there is.
Excuse me, I'm sat right here. How dare you, Trey? Honestly, first you take my spot in the D3 commentary box, and now you're doing this to me.
Look, it's not my fault I got promoted last season, okay?
Brutal.
To fair, I can't say anything. I got promoted to D2.
Yeah, you were making your slow climb back up. Yeah, I don't know.
And by the end of the season, I had my way back to. I did make my way back to D1 by the end.
There you go. We are seeing our pit stops happen again. Worley has come in. I believe that's our second pitter, at least non-damage pitter anyways. So we'll have to see when everyone else starts to come into pit.
That's might be slightly early, huh? Because the last pit was somewhere, or last window ended around 2 hours and 12 minutes. So it should be somewhere around the 20 minutes or so for, I think, the rest of the grid. I'm interested to see. Well, I would think that Rife has to take tires on this pit.
Almost definitely, especially if he wants to actually survive. Yeah.
Indeed. Praying. It doesn't look like any forecasted rain, so they can pray on that.
But yeah, Worley does have enough time to get to the end of the race. The last 2 stints, I believe, if you max them out, would be around a 1 hour 36, and we only have just over an hour 30 left. So he definitely has enough time to make it through the race. So should be no issues on time as long as he doesn't have to do any unforeseen pit stops before the end of the race.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, Seth, what's happening over there?
The gap between, I didn't realize that the gap between Diaz and Watts is now 3 seconds. I think someone got stuck behind some lap traffic back there, because that's a 2-second loss. That's pretty big. I wonder if somebody had a moment.
Well, there is lap traffic right behind him, so it wouldn't shock me. Although, the one thing I do find interesting is Reynolds here. He's ahead of 2 of the GT4 cars. Technically 3, but I don't really count Kiss. He's had enough issues that I don't really think you could count him as competitive right now, unfortunately. I don't know if he's... But yeah. So, he's ahead of McKechnie and Sexton.
McKechnie has had multiple spins and such, so that definitely could have contributed to that. As well as he's kind of getting chased down by Dan Cranon right now. He's kind of holding him there. There he goes, pulling him on the straight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest here. Let's be honest with ourselves and chat. This has devolved less from commentary and more just turned into a podcast.
For now.
I mean, that's about what happens anyways with longer races. There just runs out of stuff to talk about, especially with this few cars. Like, normally when we're talking about endurance races, we have 30, 40, 50 cars, and here we have not even half of that.
Yeah. I believe Andrew Wright just came into the pit lane. Yes, he did. So we've got some action happening.
And we
are now just over the halfway point in the race.
Let's go.
Ooh, he overslid his
Oh, he
pit
missed
stop a
his
little
pit
bit.
box.
Shouldn't be that big of an issue, but...
Yeah. You know what? I was going to put it to us, but I'm going to trust chat here. Chat, this has devolved into a podcast. Give us a podcast name.
That's a dangerous idea there.
Hey,
so
we don't have to take him.
Oh, no.
I want to hear your opinions as drivers. So let's say this is your second pit. If you've got a set of tires left, let's say you change on the first one. Oh, and there, who's that spinning? Is that Sexton?
Yeah, that was Sexton.
Oh!
This is just a replay.
Okay. That was a hard into the wall. So let's say you change tires on the first roundabout. So you're on 1 stint old. Do you pit now and take the last set and double stint for the last 2, or do you wait and put on the fresh tires for 1 fresh last stint? What would you do?
I would say save the tires for the last stint, because then you can go all out pushing that final stint.
It's true. I will say Rife didn't lose too much time. I mean, too much time from not pitting, it seems. He held that big gap until that spin. So do you think maybe if you double stinted, you would, overcut the people that do decide to do the pit in the last stint and just hold those tires off?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You're going to be holding the tires off, but the more you hold them off, the more your tires are going to be going down where they're on the pressure tires.
It is true.
I would say final stint, big push. What about you, Trey?
So, assuming that you've used one of your sets in qualifying, you have 2 fresh sets and 1 not so fresh set. What I would probably do is try to double stint both. So basically, you just do 1 pit, your first and your third pit stop. You don't change tires, so you're just refueling in the middle. Actually, I don't know if you can refuel in there, but anyway, you only change tires once, and then depending on how you're feeling when you're going for your third pit stop, you maybe switch. Because
that's assuming that some teams may have changed initially from their quali set.
Yeah,
so they may only have.
I would change from the quali set because at the start is your best chance of gaining positions, You can only
True.
you can kind of only really lose positions at that after that point. So use the fresh tires at the start, go to the midpoint, change tires, and then go to the halfway point of your go to your last stint and see how you're feeling. If your tires are dead or if you've spun enough that they're really warm, you can change to your quality use set because those are will still technically be newer than the set you were currently on.
Well, chat, if you're following our conversation, let's hear your opinions as well. Would you use your last set of tires or to double stint or change them on the last stint? And so it was Rife is still in first.
In fact,
Seamer?
I just realised this. If Jess is still in the chat, they do have mod permissions. Jess, if Jess is there, because I know they have mod permissions in the channel, can you make it a 2-minute poll? Because that way we get actual numbers.
Yeah.
I don't see him in the viewers, but if he is there, then we will hopefully get one up.
If there's a mod who can do a poll. Because it would be good to see as Andrew arrived, sliding past. Lovely jubbly, sound as a pound. He still continues in this lead here. We do have Wally chasing Spangler, to be fair. Battle for P number 10 as they're heading out of Old Shell's hairpin and down through the chicane, down Hilltop, and then down into the second chicane here.
So out of curiosity,
I totally forgot about Schwartz. Wasn't Schwartz on pole? Was Schwartz on pole?
If you give me a second, I will look at our biggest leaders. He was on pole, so yeah.
So I don't know what happened to him, but he's clawing. He's back up, chasing down Lee now, who's in a Ginetta. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot they swapped drivers. So that's Diaz and Schwartz. Okay. Okay, so this is the same battle.
That makes sense.
Yeah, good old little bit of a driver swap, because why not? Ollie's all over the back of Spangler, to be fair, so trying to get into that top 10. Jeff Spangler goes a little bit wide onto the grass, a little bit onto the exit, up through deer loop we now go, down the main straight, under the gantry, down and past, up against the pit straight, could go for a move down the inside in these M2s, very late on the brakes, keeps it on the apex, number 47, Jeff Spangler, Jay Worley, Joshua Worley is going to get up and into P number 10. Jeff Spangler is going to have to fight
He's all over the back of Lee right now. Look like he's shaping up a move. There he is trying to go around the outside, holding it tight. Very tight track. If you can hold really the middle line, it kind of blocks off a lot of these moves that can be made.
It's a thin enough track that as long as you're able to stay in the middle for the most part, you block off anything to move. But I will say that was an amazing move by Worley on the brakes on Spangler. We watched that from the cockpit, and he just flew by him and yet kept it in that. Didn't go wide. Did a great job there.
I mean, yeah, he nailed that on the apex. Like, with an M2, well, if you send it, you've got a high chance of, like, it understeering because, let's be honest, the M2s are legit just road cars. But he was able to keep it on the apex. He was able to put it there. So that was a very good move by him, and he deserves props for that. But right now, Schwartz ran the outside, heading now down towards the braking zone. He's going to be up against him, and it looks like, is he going to get it done just beforehand? Yes, he will. The Porsche banner up against the Ginetta. That's Schwartz up in a P number 3 onto the podium. Lee down to P number 4.
So do either of y'all have any experience with what's it called? I'm sorry, endurance racing?
I have a little bit.
I did a 24 hours of Nordschleife solo a few weeks back.
Woo! That is dedication. I could not do it. I guess I missed it. So Schwartz started the race, and then I guess when they pitted, they switched up to Diaz. So I must have missed. Maybe Schwartz is just faster in this GT4, because once they switched, it pretty much flew by that Ginetta, and it looks like he's gonna go on the hunt for Kraus if he can make up that almost 20-second gap. It seems now.
I mean, maybe that was the plan from the start. Get the faster driver in last, So then get the faster driver in last, and then they can go full push for it.
It's possible. It's
I just want to put. In fact, I just want to point this out. Kiss would have had to serve his drive-through by now. So Kiss got another drive-through.
Ugh.
Oh, man.
That feels bad.
Because you've got to serve your drive-through within 3 laps per just the ACC code. So that's a second drive-through he's accumulated.
Yeah, just a bad race gone worse for him. Meanwhile, here in the back, Cortez has caught up to Spangler. I'm not sure what exactly happened, if there was a mistake or somewhere, but Cortez is doing pretty good here. We'll have to see if he's able to do anything here against him.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Let's stay on the track conversation like we have done. We were talking about a track we'd like to see on the calendar next season. We were talking about Kyalami. I think I know what Trey's answer is going to be, because he kind of mentioned it earlier. If you could bring one track to ACC, which one would it be?
Well,
Trey, you can go first.
I mean, I know that Indianapolis is already in there, but if they were to bring the actual Indianapolis setup or race, that'd be my number 1 choice. But my number 1.5 choice is definitely Daytona. I love Daytona, and also I want a Roval, just because I want to show some of the non-Americans who think that oval racing is for suckers just how hard it is. Because most people don't like oval racing just because oval racing is all about strategy, and there's not much. I'm not gonna say there's not much on-track action, but it's a lot different action than in this, and so most people just don't understand it.
It's fair. What about you, Seth? What track would you bring to ACC?
He kind of stole my answer. I love Daytona. I love watching Daytona. It's one of my favorite tracks to watch. If we're talking about tracks, just like in general, like across F1, I'm trying to remember which one it is. Just give me 1 second. As you can hear my dog barking in the back.
Well, while he's looking it up, I would also like, if they were to bring in Daytona, just for the fun of it, I'd want to bring in the oval layout. I want to see GT3 cars race on an oval.
Fair. I mean, whilst he does that, I will be honest. For me, this may sound crazy considering considering that I love my British tracks. Road Atlanta.
Yes. There's so many good American tracks that just don't get used because they're smaller, and most racing stuff like this is more European based. But like you're saying, Atlanta, Road America, and a few other places.
Yeah.
Yes, I found it. And I would love to race these GT3 cars at Jeddah.
Yes! Maximum chaos.
The Jeddah Corniche circuit. Oh, I mean, you got that in Rennsport.
Indeed.
You got Jeddah in Rennsport, and that's chaos with that. So imagine it on ACC. Oh my god. As we're watching a car go spinny doodah. Oh, big evasive action there.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there with Kiss. He just kind of spun, so we'll leave him to it.
You know what, chat, let's get you involved in it as well. If you could bring one track to ACC, what would it be and why? But let's... This is just a thing. There's so many good tracks around the world. It's kind of sad how limited you realize how ACC is with how many tracks it's got. Like, I understand it with the coding and everything, and like licensing, but it's still kind of upsetting when you look at like we could have had Road Atlanta, we could have had Daytona Roval. So
it does make you wish that maybe ACC had the mod support that AC has, and that way we could have whatever track we wanted.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though. You don't need modding for it. Like, I'm gonna go back to Project Cars 2. because they only really had yes, they had licensing, but I think if Project Cars 2 could get the licensing, I think ACC could.
So
That's true. I think ACC was very focused on, staying with SRO, and maybe that's why they didn't venture into that.
Yeah, that would be my guess, is they were just only going to tracks that they had GT actually racing at. Because if I remember correctly, they essentially followed them around for a year and laser scanned most of the tracks, and that's the reason why Indy is in the wrong layout, is because the original track layout got broken by NASCAR, and so they couldn't laser scan the correct layout.
Classic.
Of course NASCAR broke it. Of course it was NASCAR. I mean,
Go ahead. I got a question after for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, you go first, because my next thing is kind of like onto a different topic. So.
Okay. My question is gonna be, what is your favorite racing series? Because mine is definitely IMSA. I enjoy IMSA a lot.
See, for
British
me,
Touring Car Championship.
that's fair.
All right, that's a good one.
See, for me, it's got to be IndyCar. Just because.
America.
Yeah, well, yes, obviously, but it's it's open wheel racing, so you have a lot of craziness. It's all, excuse me. So it's crazy, and it's light cars, and so you have to have a lot of skill to not crash the cars. But also, you go on just about any type of track you could imagine, because it's got the ovals, it's got street circuits, it's got road courses. I don't think it has any Rovals anymore. I wish they would run the Charlotte Roval, but I don't think they do. But either way, they run just about any type of track you can think of, and so you can see the wide breadth of what you have to do for racing. Now, obviously, they don't do dirt track racing. That would be insane, but that's what NASCAR's for.
That's a good assessment. I favor IMSA and WEC because I love to see just some rubbing and some bumping, really getting the elbows out. And so open wheel, if you do that, like the wheels are flying off the car. So
that's why I watch NASCARs, because they can hit each other pretty hard, and most of the time they're okay to go forward. Now, that is a bigger issue with our current gen cars, but I blame a whole lot of other things more than that. Anyway.
I'm just not a NASCAR fan because I feel like they can just hit each other in a lot of time without consequence, and I don't like that.
That's the main reason why I don't like it as much. It's basically just chaos, and no one really knows. You're able to hit each other, but as a part of that, you do get a lot more. What do you call it? Emotions coming through during races, because you will see revenge passes or revenge hits. I think my favorite was a few years ago. Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain, I think it was, were fighting each other. They both wrecked, but they have something, I don't remember what the rule is called, but basically, after you wreck and get repaired, you have to reach a certain speed or else you get disqualified. It's basically to make sure that if a car is too damaged, they can't keep running. But Denny Hamlin basically tried to stop Chastain from reaching that minimum speed to disqualify him. And that was great to watch.
That's a huge strategy.
Yeah.
I would cut an Alexa off there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. For me, I understand. This may sound crazy considering that, most people will know, because who watch me since I come in from season 11. I used to be just purely F1 before I started doing SRA and GT. I no longer do F1 because I don't know what it is, but F1 with the FIA and everything, and all these new things of having all these new street circuits, this is a really big gripe for me. Why bring in Madrid when you have the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya with an actually good layout?
Yeah.
Why still have Monaco at this point is what I think. That's
Here's the
just
thi-
kind of
here's-
embarrassing.
Here's the thing. I understand Monaco because it's basically like, yes, there isn't as much overtaking, but Monaco is Formula One's IndyCar 500. It's the historic one, which
That's true.
I see a lot of people like, oh, we should get rid of Monaco and everything, as we see the Maka going round again for probably the 10th time in the last hour. But it's for Monaco, it's one of those historic tracks. For me, at least, Monaco should be the exact midpoint for the F1 season, just before they go on the summer break.
That's a good idea.
Just before they go on that big summer break, Monaco should be that direct midway point, and then we have some European tracks just before Monaco, and then when we come back from the summer break, we're back in Europe. So, for me at least, it should be Australia, Japan, Shanghai, Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, then to Europe, Monaco in the middle, Europe, then it should be Montreal, Kota, because honestly, screw Miami and screw Vegas. I hate those circuits.
Vegas was great last year. You can't say that.
Yeah, Vegas isn't too bad.
Yeah, Vegas was great last year. This is just me. I have a major gripe for street circuits. I hate them apart from Monaco.
That's
Because
valid.
Monaco's historic. Yes, Jeddah Corniche is technically a street circuit, but it's one of those street circuits that works.
Yeah, there's very few
Yeah.
of them. Well, tell me if I'm wrong here. Like, there's not many like reasons I think many people watch F1 now, except we like to see cars go fast. But also, I mean, especially with the introduction of Drive to Survive, it's kind of like the reality TV of racing right now.
Yeah,
Because
that's
there's so
fair.
much drama, and you know
Yeah.
you can pick your favorite quote unquote character, right? You pick your driver, you pick your team, and you like root for them. It's like a sport. Whereas a lot of other racing, it's like you're rooting for like a manufacturer or one team. You know, people have like their driver, and it's like a parasocial thing, and you know, I think that's why people like it.
Yeah.
That's why I still watch it.
Yeah, I still watch it, but to go back to your Monaco point, I disagree with moving Monaco to the middle, specifically because, as we see McKechnie get a drive-through. Very unfortunate for him.
Damn person down the inside. Lovely
Yeah.
job, late. Moved on.
Very nice.
Up to 13th, unlucky for some, and it will be unlucky because straight back through comes Cortez.
Yep. But, anyway, so as I was trying to say about Monaco, the king of motorsports days was Monaco, Indy, Coca-Cola 600. Like, that was the pinnacle of motorsports. Because Monaco was in the morning. Yes, it was boring, but it was the history aspect of it. It wasn't really the racing. Then you have Indy, which, in my mind, is the best race ever. Not at all biased, but anywho.
Oh no, genuinely for me, IndyCar, the Indy 500 is top 3 for me. Number 1's the 24 Hours of Nerb. Number 2 is Le Mans. Number 3 is Indy 500.
Yeah, so
I'm biased, but
Indy
it's
500
probably
is top 3.
it's probably 24 hours at Daytona, then Le Mans, and then maybe the Indy 500 for me.
Yeah, but either way, Indy is in the top 3 for all of these. And then after that, you have the Coca-Cola 600, which is I think it's the longest race in NASCAR, and so it's such an endurance race. It's a lot of fun. To me, and I assume at least a few other Americans, that especially American F1 fans, that was the pinnacle of motorsports. It was racing those 3 races all day.
Yeah.
Now, F1 has put Canada on the same day as the Indy 500, and it starts They both started about the same time, so they're directly trying to compete with the American IndyCar market, and I hate that for a whole host of reasons.
Oh yeah, no. Like personally, I watch more F1 than IndyCar because I just prefer the circuits that Formula One races on.
Yep.
But I hate that because I really like the Montreal circuit. Like I really like the Canadian GP, but I also really like the Indy 500. So it's like, which do I watch? Like why would you do that? It's like they're trying to compete with the IndyCar market, not realizing that they're going up against the biggest IndyCar race. And there's a lot of us Formula One fans who watch the Indy 500 because it's the Indy 500.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at like the viewing, like I don't know what it's like over in America, but over in Europe, if you look at the IndyCar view charts, as I believe that was a lap car, we're watching Guy Manperson right now, still locked in this battle. Like if you look at the IndyCar viewing charts, there's a major spike up in IndyCar views simply for the Indy 500. Like people want to watch that, as that's going to be a move down the inside, and the Guy Manperson almost there, almost touches the rear bumper, maybe a little bit of a tap, coming up through right-hander, over the crest, and through D-Lip we now go down towards turn number 1, but I think he's a little bit too far back there. But yeah, as Janetta is there trying to look for the inside, but back to the point, like, I don't know what it's like over there in America, but over in Europe, there's like a big spike in IndyCar viewers when the Indy 500 comes around, so I think when it comes to it next year, there's going to be quite a bit of backlash when it tries to go head-to-head with Indy.
I certainly hope so, because it's just it's essentially monopoly behavior by the FAA is what they're trying to do. They're trying to cut out the IndyCar market so that the only thing they have to watch is F1. And I don't think it's going to work as well as the FAA is hoping. Because this past year was the first time that the Indy 500 sold out since before COVID. And so the IndyCar market is well on the rise. And I don't, as good as the Canadian GP is for F1, it doesn't match Indy in spectacle or really race-wise.
Not even close.
So I don't think it'll work out as well as they think it will.
Canada's kind of just a race on the calendar for F1, whereas like Indy is like the show.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like Montreal should be later in the year to kick off the American portion of the season. Like, you start in Canada, and then you end the season at Interlagos.
Yeah. See, they can't do that, though. It's the Canadian racer, basically, there's too much rain later in the year, and also the owner of the Canadian track won't let them go any later than they are going to for 2026.
If only they did. I mean, heck, realistically, it's just the owner, because I don't know. It seems like the FIA look at it and like, there's too much rain. I wonder what the wet tires are for.
Well, they've stopped using the wet tires because they can't see. Is Kraus?
Oh, Kraus. Yep.
I don't think it was a big issue. Hopefully, anyways.
No, just a little slide, but it's gonna lose him some time. Especially Schwartz is really pushing to catch him behind.
Yeah, that just a slide through the corner. Luckily enough, no hit into the barrier, so that's unfortunately just unlucky for him. But looking for Schwartz, whereabouts is E on the circuit? I think Schwartz is just coming through. Where is 511? I'm trying to look for the 5. Yeah, Schwartz is just coming through D-Leap. So Kraus still has quite a little bit. Kraus has quite a bit of a gap at the moment. He's got like 3 corners between them.
Yep. Well, I guess we'll have to wait one more lap here, but the pace differential between Kraus and Schwartz is pretty big. 43s for Schwartz. Kraus in the last lap was a 47.
But that does include his massive off.
He did have, that includes his massive off.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to wait one more lap to see what his pace is. See if I guess actually I could check on here. Let's see.
Yeah, just like check his average from the laps beforehand. So it's just one of those things. Like you were, to be fair, Trey, like you were saying, F1 now, yes, F1 is bigger than it's ever been, but it's kind of feel like it's lost the motorsport factor and more just using the motorsport for engagement.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. For a long time, especially with Ben Sulayem, since he's become president, it's become more about money making than it has actually been about good racing for most of what the decisions they've made. Especially with their new power units and all the issues they've had, the only reason why they switched to those power units is to entice more engine manufacturers. And I don't know if you've been following the engine development for them, it's not going well.
Yeah, and to be honest, you know another thing which I find really funny. It's like, oh, F1 is like saying net 30 by 2030 with a fully I can't say the bloody word.
Synthetic?
Yeah, the fully synthetic fuel. It's like, yeah, we want to bring this in, we're working on it. And I'm just looking at it, like I said, my favourite series is the BTCC. BTCC uses fully synthetic fuel. Like, it's been brought in this season, so it's just like, this series is already doing it. Why can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, F1 just has a whole bunch of weird things that go on behind the scenes that no one really understands, is the best way I can put it. Someone went off.
Oh, that is Gabriel Allen. That's Gabriel. That is at the hairpin. It seems
just went deep.
Off the exit. Yeah, it went deep on the hairpin.
Kraus is going around in the grass again.
Oh! Kraus. What's happening, Kraus?
Am I wrong? I think I'm.
It looked like he went round. He's slow on it. We're gonna get a replay here.
Rewind it. I see. Okay. Yep.
Same corner.
Yeah.
Same corner.
His rear tires must be shot at this point.
I think we'll be coming up to a pit window here soon.
Yeah, we're 2/3 the way through the race, so to everyone in chat still here, thank you for joining us, and thank you for sticking around. There's a whole lot of fun happening. Most of it in the commentary box at this point, I think, though.
Yeah, we can't wait. We went from the first hour where we had the first hour and a half where it was like the action and a podcast. Now it's just turned into a podcast with the Cortez and Guyman person battle, and just keeping an eye on Schwartz catching up to P number 2. So that's just how the cookie is crumbling at the moment, it seems, as coming out the exit again. It seems like Cortez has a setup for the straight line speed, because Guyman person is just not catching up when it comes down to this first sector.
Yeah, I don't know. You can go ahead.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
Wait, you know what? We're in the final hour. We'll probably go through this again when we get towards the end. But let's go. I'll go through this reel again to keep everyone updated. I selected the wrong announcements channel. So coming up, there we go. There we go. I selected the correct announcements channel now. So coming up later on, Okay, I'm trying to find it.
Discord's not serving you well.
Yeah, Discord is not serving me well at the moment. GT3 announcements. Yeah. further up, maybe? Yeah, here we go. So, coming up, of course, the qualifier track is going to be between June 9th and June 29th for the qualifying track. Classification reveal and registration opens on June 30th. League in a week and orientation races commences on weeks of June 23rd and June 30th. More information is to come on that. The week 1 track will be revealed on the 30th of June. Season 15 livery and shoey submission deadline is on July 3rd, but that may be changed. It's tentative at the moment. And then the Season 15 livery and schedule reveal stream will be on July 5th, with Season 15 starting on July 7th at the Week 1 track. Week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 will be revealed in the livery and schedule reveal stream. Also, you will also find the shoey videos in that stream, as well as the liveries. As I'm gonna try copy this, there we go. And of course, new to this season as well, as I'm gonna post a link in the chat, you can vote for your commentator of the season, who is totally not under contractual obligation to do it's totally not contractual obligation. They have the honor, in Jess's own words, they have the honor of doing the shoey on that livery and schedule reveal stream. So that's going to be interesting one. So we're also going to see Seth doing a shoey, because they are a champion from last season. So it's going to be an interesting season. Of course, if you are watching live on Twitch, you do get a free subscription with Prime. You can subscribe to support us, and we will be trying our absolute best. Of course, we can't really help that adverts do pop up here on Twitch. So, but if you do subscribe, it does remove the advertisements from the stream, so you can watch fully through without any adverts. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to get notified every single time Sim Racing Alliance does go live in Season 15, which is coming up. Looks for an up and under. Is going to be Guy Manperson. Is he finally going to get the move done? Round the outside as they head onto the main straight. Flash, flash, flash from Cortez. And boom, done into turn number 1. Guy Manperson, after several laps behind, finally gets past Cortez. But of course, we've been watching it in the background. These two drivers have been battling for like the past hour. So we've been watching the moves go back and forth, talking about when they happen, but this is the battle which is happening out on circuit right now. And personally, I think it's a really good one. And maybe, just maybe, they'll be in the same division coming next season. So it's going to be an interesting one to see if these two will clash on track again.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It also wouldn't surprise me if they continue this battle a lot longer throughout this race, because they've been having similar paces. Now, obviously, part of that could just be because, you know, they've been stuck behind one another, but it'll be interesting to see how this goes, as Mertzen is off.
Again.
May it be contact?
Maybe contact? Was it a
Nope.
hit in the rear?
Just lost it.
Nope. Yep.
Almost
Kept out of
got
the
hit,
wall.
though.
Good save.
Yeah, good save there. So that's a good one for them. As that's just one of those things that unfortunately happens. Cortez, where is Guy Manperson? Guy Manperson, yeah. Manperson's finally got past and he's starting to drive away, so it does seem like Guy Manperson was just stuck behind a little bit, but now he's got the clean air, he's just starting to drive away.
Yeah, meanwhile, Drizzle has voted for you, Alex. So good job. Your spiel there has given you a vote. So congratulations.
Yay!
This seems like insider trading.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I can't help that I'm good at my job. Which, by the way, chat, you will want to get your votes in tonight, as the votes do close later tonight. Honestly, who knows? Jess may close the votes as soon as this stream ends, so get your votes in as quickly as possible.
Oh, Lee going to the grass into the barrier.
No, Lee. The poor Janetta.
Oh,
And he
turned
looks
in
like he
way
just
early
lost it
there.
on the curb.
Oh yeah, no. To be
Yeah.
fair, the curbs are deadly at that corner. Like,
Just unsettled the suspension and got on the gas.
oh no, it wasn't the suspension. It hit the bodywork and it froze your car up. That's what those curbs.
We have a
Your
pitter?
suspension. That is Justin.
McKechnie, what are you doing, man?
I'm a little confused as to what he's doing here. Maybe he's trying to
I
retire
think
the
he's
car.
trying.
Just trying to park in the garage.
Yeah, I think he thinks that this is Project Cars 2 and he can park in the garage. There's a no parking sign there, so I don't think you can really get into them. Hey, to be honest, at least there's not a power cut in the pit lane like there was at Knowles earlier.
Yeah.
It looks like McKechnie has disconnected.
Yeah, so his day is done. Rather unfortunate. He was about halfway up the pack. Of course, there's a lot of M2s behind him, so he was in the back of the GT4s, but he wasn't doing all that bad. He has had a lot of issues though with spinning, so not a big surprise.
Yeah, just one of those things where it's like, do you keep going and stay where you are, or do you just know that you're going to keep on spinning and you just opt to retire there, knowing what you're probably going to be doing in the future? So it's just one of those things. Sometimes you just gotta take it and swallow it. So it's just one of those things. So it's just one of those unfortunate things when it just can come down to endurance racing. And whilst we do have a little gap here, we haven't done it in a while. Well, that's a big moment there in the back for the Porsche. But that's a big one. We talked about them at the start, but we will be right back with the action right after a quick word from our sponsors.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
Alright, welcome back. We are just getting ready to begin our ending stints, but unfortunately we are going to be down a man for the rest of the time. Seth has decided that real life takes precedent over online racing.
Guys, it's been a great time. For all you viewers that are maybe new, shout out to SRA. We hope to see you join the community here soon. It's some of the best racing you'll do, and I hope to be joining back in the commentary box with these guys soon. I just unfortunately have to cut it short. Almost made it to the end, but it's been a great time. Great talking with you guys, Alexa and Trey. Great conversations. Great job commentating. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, thank you for joining us here, and we will see you again in Season 15.
Yes, sir.
In season 15, Trey. Seth.
See you guys later.
Alright, we are now down to 2.
It's just me and you, Trey. Just me and you. It's like Indianapolis again.
It is. Let's hope I don't cut out, the power doesn't cut 5 minutes before the end again.
I mean, don't worry. I'm pretty sure we got no tornadoes incoming.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you see the stuff? Well, no, you wouldn't have seen the stuff. There was some pretty big stuff in North Dakota yesterday.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I won't get into the big details, but...
Yeah. Andrew's flying past.
Yep, just a little blue flagger incident. Well, not incident, but... Yeah, so for a while there, I wasn't able to point it out whenever we saw it, but for a while, Andrew had essentially a third of the track to himself. He has now since got into the back into the rest of the field, but he is well on his way to a victory.
Yeah, which honestly is crazy considering he's been busy with work for like the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, he's just throwing all his pent-up racing urges into this race, probably. I wonder if we'll get to see him again this season.
I mean, I would hope so, but of course life comes first, but hopefully it would be nice to see Andrew, if he can only like have one night to be out there on the track racing over commentating, but it would be nice to just see him back on the circuit, back racing, just showing what he can do, because a lot of people don't realize it. Andrew's a really good driver, and I think he's proven it tonight.
Yeah, he's done really good. Obviously, he hasn't had to fight most of the D1 drivers, because most of the D1 and the bigger guys are down in VM2s, but he's been doing a really good job keeping the gap out behind him. We saw the battle earlier in the race where he just held on and did a very good job making sure that he didn't make any mistakes when the 2 guys were behind him pressuring him.
Yeah, so I think it's just that I think that's just one of the things when it comes to racing. As long as you stay calm, you can drive to your utmost ability. It's the part when you like start to get, like a bit of anger or desperation takes over. As we see, Curtis Lee is going to come into the pit lane, so they will now get lapped, and that is just, they're just driving through, so they're just driving through to reset the stint timers. As Andrew Rife also into the pits, so is he going to take fresh tires? We're about to find out, because
I would assume no. And he doesn't.
Yeah, no, he's just driving through, as we do have a yellow flag for 2 drivers. So that was a contact, it seems, or is my thing just playing up? We'll wait and see. No, it's just 1 driver, so in things randomly as just taken to the escape road.
Yeah, ACC just doing ACC things when you're with you. We do have 2 other drivers in the pits, in Colton and Mertzen, and these will be the last pit stops that anyone makes for the day. Hopefully, anyways, as long as there's no too big of incidents.
Yeah. Also, I would just like to point this out because, of course, I pointed out in the past to all the other commentators, but we also have to kind of address it now to the chat. None of us commentators can get Seth's name wrong now. If we do, we shall be shamed.
Yeah, especially us.
Yeah, especially us. We shared a box with him. If we get his surname wrong, we are getting shamed by chat.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if you don't know how to pronounce Seth, I think you'd have an issue. Rocha, I don't know. I mean, personally, when I first thought, I expected it to be like one of my friends that I have. He pronounces it Roca, because if I remember correctly, Roca is the way that it's pronounced in Eastern Europe.
Oh yeah, no, like I I originally pronounced it Roca.
But yeah, no, it is the what I'll call Americanized version, but anglicized is probably also correct. But that is kind of what happens around here.
Probably just a regional thing.
Ah,
there we go. Yeah, I'm guessing you also just saw it with what's just popped up in Twitch chat.
yep. Duong Bunglio having braking issues. So, not as in he has no brakes, but more as he is randomly braking without him telling the car to. So yeah, that would cause a lot of issues there, and that makes sense as to why he's so far back. Hopefully he's able to get that fixed before next season starts, but we will have to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things with being in this race tonight. You now know that you have that issue, so you have time after this race you have time during this race to try and diagnose what's wrong with it, and then you have the time after the race, going into next week, to evaluate it, fix it, try and get that issue sorted. So I think that's one of the things, like the league in a week allows for like orientation race and everything, but by competing in these like off-season events, it allows you to like figure out any issue that you may have and try and fix them. As yeah, you can see it again there. You saw the squiggle as he was turning, so that would have been the braking application randomly applying again.
Yeah, and even that's not only just for cars, it's also for streamers. I'm doing this to get more practice in streaming, and it seems to have worked so far. So people in chat can tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think I've had any stream quality issues. I know I have in Discord, but that's because Discord's being dumb.
Discord's doing Discord things. And quite literally, as you just say that, Discord just froze.
Ah. Well, hopefully it comes back.
We're back.
Perfect.
It's like we willed it into existence.
I know. Yeah, I'm honestly shocked throughout this whole stream, which is, I don't know how long it's been, 3 hours?
Let me click on it.
Yeah.
It's been 3 hours, 4 minutes, 45 seconds.
Yeah, at least according to OBS, I've only had 500 dropped frames. So, I'd say that's doing pretty good.
Really good. That's really good.
So, you know, I'll take that. Of course, when we get back to normal racing, it'll absolutely get ruined, but that's a separate issue.
Yep, because everything works perfectly fine until race day.
Yep. Meanwhile, we are currently watching Spangler. I've set on autocam because I'm bored of trying to switch to everything, so it could switch away at any moment. But we are watching Spangler, the winner of the last 2 seasons, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, back to back.
Oh, and then it just switched. Like I said, spoken to existence.
Now we're watching everybody's favorite admin.
Well, there we go. But yeah.
Speaking of admins, who's ready to see on the livery stream? Who's ready to see the host for the livery and reveal stream to get up?
I am ready for it. It's gonna be fun.
I think it's a tradition at this point. But I mean, how many bottoms up was it in like the first 10 minutes that were redeemed last time?
I don't know how much it was, but it was a lot.
Yeah, and we've only grown more since then. So just imagine how many people have 10,000 channel points saved up simply for bottoms up.
Yeah, I only have 2K, so...
I mean, how many do I have? That's actually good. I've got 6K, so they won't be getting a bottoms up from me, so they get away with me and you, but I can imagine a lot of people have it saved up, so I feel bad for the hosts.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get up on my stream points because I'm too busy doing other streams not on Twitch.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you've got me, who is purely just Twitch. Blue flags, blue flags. I think blue flags have been flying around this circuit for like the past hour constantly. Those can we give? In fact, can we get W's in the chat for the marshals around this circuit, because their arms must be hurting by now.
Yeah, they're flapping their arms like there's no tomorrow. As Spangler comes into the pits, if it lets me. There we go. Spangler into the pits.
And he's just going to drive through to reset his timer.
And Dwong Bunglio has more brake issues. So.
Hey.
But he keeps the car straight, so you know, doing good.
Yeah. Should hopefully get those issues fixed for next time out. So, luckily enough, nice.
Yeah, he's got.
It looks like
it's
going to be nice and tidy for him. He's got plenty of time.
As
so yeah.
Mertzen also spins.
Oh.
That's really unfortunate. He had a really good first, like, half the race, I think it was, and he's just been having spinning issues for a while. I complimented on his livery, and then he just had all this happen.
I mean, let's be honest, we've just been cursing everybody this evening. And around and into, and luckily enough, not into the barrier. That was Donovan Colton. So we'll get a lovely replay on this. In fact, let's go on the wheel if we can before he spins. As there he goes. That is a big spin, and you can see him trying to catch it. And luckily enough, he does keep it there. As we look at the lovely skybox again. And now we're back inside a car. Hello, Andrew Rife.
We've not featured him enough. Maybe that's because he's done too good a job of racing, though.
Yeah, I mean, we've probably given him about 2 minutes of screen time so far, maybe 3 minutes over nearly 2.5 hours, and he's been leading this race for like 2 hours at this point.
I mean, I'd say that's his own fault, but you know.
I mean, it's true. Like in real life endurance racing, unless they're locked in a battle, you don't really see the leaders.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's true of most races, to be honest. So. But we are almost at the half-hour mark, which means I'm half an hour away from going to bed. Well,
sleep.
I will say I'm going to bed. I probably won't, to be honest. I'll just get on Minecraft.
I know. Yeah, you go on Minecraft, and I'll just end up doom scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah, just continue your sleep deprivation with.
Hey! Look, I've got 1 more week of college, then I'm home. Then I'm free until September. Okay,
You're not done with.
I'm gonna be switching to American sleep cycle because SRA season is starting up again, like the week after, the week after I finish college. So.
Yeah, Dwong Bunglio, I won't make him to look too bad, so I'll cut off of him. But he did have another issue.
Come on, Bunglio, you can do it. Pave the way, put your back into it. Tell us why, show us how. Look at where you came from. Look at you now.
So, just for right now, just since we're in a little bit of a lull, I'm gonna go ahead and go over our biggest movers. So Schwartz, unfortunately, he's our biggest down mover. That's just off of pure pace. His team is down 2 spots from pole. Not been doing bad. He's still in the point. Well, not points, but he's still on the podium. But unfortunate. Our biggest mover though is Allard. He's up 13 spots, which is absolutely insane.
Bro. As a quick update, actually, it looks like Bunglio is retired.
Not surprising. Really unfortunate that he's had the issues that he has today. I assume he'll be able to get those fixed at some point. Why is...
Apparently Seth is still showing up on the commentators thing. Seth is not with us.
He's here in spirit, we'll say that.
Yes, he's here in spirit. Also, we might want to remind him get a picture sorted before the new season starts.
Yeah, that'll be a future issue.
Yeah, that'll be something for the future. We'll have to remind him of that. There's the KTM. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Worley has caught up to the back of Spangler, so we might actually have a battle here for the last half hour of the race.
Yeah, Schwartz has fallen behind even further, 36 seconds behind the KTM, so yeah, it looks like Worley versus Spangler is going to be the fight that is going to be happening towards the end here. So, to be honest, that isn't really too bad. Realistically, we've had a battle about every half an hour. So
yeah, and we had like a good amount of battles for the first hour, so.
Yeah, we had quite a few through the first hour. Not really many in the second hour, but we got to the 1 hour remaining mark, and we got that Colton versus Guy Manperson battle, and now it seems like we're going to get Worley versus Spangler. So we've had quite a few nice battles tonight, which honestly, like I said at the start, I don't think we would have it if these were GT3s, but considering how small these cars are, it allows for them to battle around this circuit.
Yeah, that is one of the nice things about this. I know we go way back to our discussion about F1. Could you imagine F1 trying to battle around this circuit?
Oh god, the cars are too big.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Here's the thing, old F1 cars, like I would say pre-2014. I would say pre-2014 F1 cars would be able to battle around here.
Yeah, probably.
Post-2014 cars, no way. They're too big.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna go. To be honest, you were talking about IndyCar earlier. I'm gonna bring back Project Cars 2. In that game, you could have some good battles in an IndyCar round here. P number 2. Drive-through penalty.
Oh no. Honestly, making it to the end here with so few driver cuts is a little shocking, but these drivers have been doing really good so far. So I don't think this will drop him back behind Schwartz, but it might drop him back far enough that he has a chance to do something.
Yeah, if he's able to get that pedal to the metal, the foot to the floor. He's coming. Yeah, he's still got plenty gap. That's just how short the pit lane here is at Oulton Park. Like, it's tiny.
How do GT cars race around here with that small of a pit lane?
You would be surprised how tight that pit lane gets. Like, if you look at the actual way they spin the wheel. They throw the wheel to the left to get out the pit box, and then they throw it to the right to get back straight.
Makes sense.
It's crazy reactions and how tight the turning radius is to get in and out of the pit lane. Formula Renault's even more crazy. British Formula 4 around this track is British. The BTCC is the pinnacle of motorsport in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people would say British F4 because it's a feeder towards Formula 1.
Oh,
no, it's the British Touring Car Championship. No, good catch.
Very good catch. And it looks like Naples is fun again. But go ahead and continue talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. To be fair, the BTCC is actually there this weekend. Unfortunately, I couldn't go because broke. I was hoping I was going to be able to go this year, but nah, money is just no. Money's just yep, nope, not going to happen. Perks of living in the world nowadays, yay. But it's a really good racing series, and you have it over in America as well. You just get some people who go to every single race at a racing circuit, like at Oulton Park on the main pit straight. There's somebody who brings an armchair.
Understandable.
Like, there's somebody who brings an armchair and just sits on the hill next to the pitch straight, so it's actually really amazing, and it's like, I think a lot of people watch motorsport for the racing, but I think there should be more appreciation for like the fans who actually go to the circuits, like when there's racing on, and are there supporting it no matter what the series is, because yes, this may just be a thing, but it's for wrestling, but also for motorsport, in my opinion. The fans make the atmosphere. A race can be good, but it won't feel good without the fans. Like, the fans can elevate a race.
I would say that's fair, but probably only mostly for in-person things. Like, at least for F1, you normally don't hear as much of the crowd. And so the only thing you really get is the engine noises. Now, if you're actually there at the track, yes, the crowd does matter a lot, obviously. But I don't think it matters as much on TV. Like, for American I can only speak to American football. I assume it's the same way in international football. Soccer, to anyone in America. But the crowd is a lot more prevalent for most of the time. Now, that could just be because you have more time to focus on the crowd, and so you get their reactions a lot more. Like, especially in American football, when I think it's an average of 14 seconds of play and then 40 seconds of talking about the previous play, essentially. So I don't know how much it is in racing. In wrestling, it's definitely crowd driven, because the crowd takes up way more space than the actual wrestling surface, but I don't know.
Yeah. It depends on like what the series is. Like, it comes down to that at the end of the day, so that's all it's really going to be. I'm surprised there wasn't more rain in this race, to be honest, because we got dry until the end. Now yellow again. Oh, that's big
Mertzen.
spin? Is that...
Yeah. So the reason why there wasn't much rain was because the rain was set to 0, as in there was not supposed to be any rain at all this race. So the fact that we got rain is kind of funny. But regardless. Oh, Worley just had a little bit of an off there. Not too bad, though.
Regardless of what his may be, it's going to be one thing. Wally's fallen off Spangler a little bit, so it's just one of those unfortunate things. But we shall wait and see. We still got just under 25 minutes left in this race. I'm going to be honest, those first 2 hours flew by. Maybe because we kind of went into podcast mode.
That's fair. Yeah, three people talking with something to drive what they're talking about for the most part. Even just 2 people, but especially 3 people does help drive the conversation along, because one person can take a break for part of it while the other 2 carry it on, and then so on and so forth. But yeah, the last half hour, also, there's not been really much on-track action. There's been a couple incidents, but that's been about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna bring the podcast back a little bit. Like, I know we're doing AC. Well, I know it's like different with iRacing, etc. But I would love to see coverage on the iRacing series.
Does SRA do an iRacing series?
Yes, on a Thursday night.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we don't have Multiclass Mayhem coverage for obvious reasons, because it's Mayhem. But I would, obviously it's different because you got to pay for like iRacing and everything. But like, I would love to see iRacing like coverage, like even if we only had a host, like play hop in a commentary box to commentate on an iRacing series, because I feel like I feel like with how big we're getting here at SRA, it would be nice to like expand those opportunities.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Like get more coverage and like, because there may be some people who are racing the iRacing who don't race here on the actual, who don't actually race in the GT3 Team Series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I know if nothing else, Mac would love, or me and Mac would love to do iRacing if it wasn't so expensive. Like, just driving, not even commentating. I'd love to do both, but especially commentating, because the iRacing has ovals. And the oval racing in that is a lot of fun.
Yeah. In fact, I'm gonna check iRacing because I'm pretty sure they did announce, because we only usually talk about the team series here.
Well,
There was some in announcements. Oh, here we go. League in a Week's being announced while we're live.
Hooray!
And it was announced half an hour ago. So here we go. League in a Week, June 23rd, June 27th. League in a Week is returning starting on Monday, June 23rd. We are currently working through the finalising registration details. Yada, yada, yada. In the meantime, here's your information for League in a Week. 2 20-minute races, June 23rd to June 27th, every night at 2 AM BST, so that'll be 9 PM EST, 5 PM Pacific. These will not be orientation races. And so the races go as followed. June 23rd, Watkins Glen. June 24th, Silverstone. June 25th, Brands Hatch. June 26th, Misano. And June 27th, I don't know what you're going to think about this. I don't know what you're going to think about this one, Mr. Trey. Mount Panorama.
I mean, I personally love Mount Panorama. I'm terrible at it, but I love it. It's a really good test track to figure out how good you actually are and how consistent you actually are. Because one mistake and you're dead. Yeah. It also kills just about everyone behind you because like no one can get past you. But
yeah, and this is a really big one. The SRA team has been cooking up something very exciting. If you have any interest in potential Le Mans Ultimate content from SRA, get your roles in the Discord server.
Now that does not surprise me. LMU got very big very quickly, and I'm shocked we haven't done anything sooner with it, to be honest.
Yeah, so that was announced. That was announced at 18 minutes past this current hour. So just over half an hour ago. In fact, exactly half an hour ago. So we've got the confirmation for League in a Week, and we've also got a potential Le Mans Ultimate in the works. So that is very, very interesting. If you haven't already, join the Discord server and get involved. That is very big. I wonder if there'll be any commentary opportunities.
I would hope so.
So would I.
I would be shocked if there isn't, to be honest. So, as Aoki has a big off there.
Yeah.
He decided to become a bunny there a little bit.
Yeah. To be honest, like, obviously the team hasn't confirmed anything. I wouldn't be surprised if that means that we're getting like a big... I wouldn't be surprised if that means we're getting a big endurance series.
I certainly hope so, because we had been doing an endurance series in ACC. I don't know what the plan is for that. I assume it'll come back at some point, but if we replace that with LMU, that would be a lot of fun. It'll actually make me go buy LMU, because I've not done that yet.
It may make me finally buy a PC.
Took you long enough.
Look, they're expensive, okay?
money is meaningless until it isn't.
I don't. Do you know how much I'd have to save? I suck at saving.
I know that feeling. But I have a job right now where you're still stuck in college paying for that, so.
It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But I'm real. It may not sound it. It's just really early in the morning here. I'm actually really excited about. I want more information on that.
I do too. I know that my brother will also want it, and I hope that you guys down in the chat will also want it. So, join the server. I assume there's a Discord link somewhere, but if not,
yes, I put the command in chat. So
Alright.
the Discord link is in the chat.
So, make sure that you get in here for Le Mans Ultimate, whatever the future may hold. Should be fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens there. As originally, I'm gonna go back to what I was originally going on Discord to do. I do believe they said something about iRacing. Let me go to endurance and now, in fact, endurance announcements. You were talking about endurance. So, yeah. So there's nothing new. Confirm. Of course, this is just pure speculation. There's been no announcement for endurance other than like this event in the actual server. So I do think it'll be Le Mans Ultimate there. Where's iRacing at? Where is it? There we go. iRacing announcement.
While you're looking for that, Mertzen had another short incident.
There's been no iRacing announcements either since February. So yeah.
So yeah, probably not. Unfortunately, not enough engagement in iRacing at that point. We might come back to it in the future, though.
I mean, I understand why. Like, it's very understandable to see why there wouldn't be much interest. Like, obviously, there's people who have interest in iRacing, but it's just one of those things when you've got to pay for a subscription to play a game.
Yeah, it can get very expensive very quickly, especially if you have to buy some of the cars to do something to do the racing, since there's very few free cars.
I have just realised we've got an increase in viewers. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please do not forget to join our Discord server to support us here at the Sim Racing Alliance. Also for apparently Le Mans Ultimate stuff, which is coming in the future. We're going to stop speculating before we get told off.
Hey, if we haven't been told off yet, I doubt we will soon.
Who knows? They may be waiting for us to finish.
Wouldn't shock me.
Hold on. There's more information. I know I said I'm going to stop speculating, but oh well. What if they announce it during the delivery and reveal stream?
That wouldn't shock me. It honestly wouldn't.
Does Selena have LMU?
I mean, it wouldn't shock me, but I don't know.
If she has LMU, I bet she could create an amazing reveal video.
Oh, definitely.
Like she did for the Nordschleife last seasons. I wouldn't be surprised if they do something like that again.
Yeah.
Trey, am I doing good at convincing people to come to the deliver and reveal stream?
I mean, I would think so, but I don't know.
Let's go.
I'm already convinced to come to it. You're not swaying me one way or the other, but that's because I was already fully gonna watch it anyways.
To be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I always watch the deliver and reveal stream just to see what crazy frames I can find from the shoeies.
That's entirely fair. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's liveries. hopefully the livery that Mac and I are running gets at least a little bit of a laugh. Because it's kind of comedy. But for right now, we are in the last 12.5 minutes of this race. Rife is almost a half minute in the lead, so no one's going to be catching him. The closest battle that we have on track right now is between Worley and Spangler. I don't really know if Worley's going to be able to catch him and pass him before the end of the race, but we will watch him try anyways.
Yeah, we've got 12 minutes left. In fact, you do have the information. What lap times is Andrew's? Because we've just passed the 12-minute mark, so that will give us more of an understanding of how many laps we really have left around here.
So the lap times have been around a 143 to 150 or so. I would assume that we have probably 8? I'll call it 8 laps to go.
Yeah, 8 laps, maybe 9, because he is on a lap right now and he's coming through to that final corner, so 8, maybe 9.
So, also, the other thing, the only person on the lead lap right now is Rife, I think.
Yeah.
Kraus might Kraus might be on the lead lap and it's just doing weird ACC things, but I don't know.
He's on the lead lap, because Andrew's just going through to the hairpin. So...
Alright,
Where is Schwartz? I think Schwartz might be also on the lead lap.
Actually, I think it's down to P5 is on the lead lap.
No, P5 is 3 laps down.
I don't know. There is an undetermined amount of people on the lead lap.
Yeah, I think it's the top 3 are on the lead lap. P4's 1 lap down, and then Alar is 2 laps down. So, I think that's how it currently stands. We got 10 minutes remaining on the clock.
Oops, I was muted.
Oh my god.
I keep muting myself so I don't cough in everyone's face, but, you know, it's hard to keep track of whether I'm muted or not.
Everyone's face? They can't see you, they're behind a computer screen.
I mean, you never know. They could have invented that kind of technology now.
Somebody's gonna hack into your webcam.
Exactly. But yeah, so, like I was trying to say, we've fallen into a bit of a lull for the past hour or so, but we had some great battles at the beginning, and some great endurance running here at the end, of a lot of people not making mistakes for the most part. There have been, obviously, people making mistakes, but for the most part, everyone's been doing pretty good.
Most definitely, I mean, it's endurance racing at the end of the day, so you gotta keep up with it, and you gotta keep going up. You gotta keep it up with it, and you gotta keep going, no matter how tough it may get. So it is going to be an interesting one. And you know what? Seems as we are here, and we got 8 minutes on the clock, I am going to do what I said I was going to do at the start, but didn't really do it. I'm going to get an update on what is happening at the Nordschleife. That is the German. Oh, they're watching somebody have a campfire.
Ah. Understandable.
That is a very good campfire. Oh, they're waving at the camera.
Oh, there you go.
And no surprise there, Grello is leading. So Grello is currently leading, then it is the far hashtag, then it's the number 98, I can never say it correctly. It's the rummy. Oh wait, up some people are sleeping in deck chairs. So yeah, Grello leads in P number 1 with the number 98 runway in P number 2 being 2 minutes 20 behind. It is then the P number 3 of the number 34 Aston Martin. It's then the number 28 in P number 4 for Lamborghini. It's then the number 17 Merc in P number 5. P number 45 and P number 6 is a Ferrari. You then have a Ford number 65 and P number 7 with 2 Porsches in P number 8 and 9 respectively. That's the 54 and the 44. And then 1 lap down is the number 27 of the Lamborghini.
So there you have it. The overall, what is it, Nürburgring?
Yeah, the overall top 10
There you go.
for the 24 hours of Nordschleife we've just crossed the 11-hour remaining mark there at Nords.
And their pit lane still has power?
No idea, they're not showing us it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to assume that it doesn't then, just because that's funnier.
Yeah, we're on board with a Porsche, who's currently making its way through. I can never remember its name, so I'll just call it the beach. You know that right-hander with a whole lot of.
I mean, I don't, but I don't follow. Oh, Kraus has it off, and so does whoever that is behind him, Naples.
There's been a lot of excursions here at Oulton Park. Everybody wants to see the wildlife.
Yeah, they both kept it straight, so no big issues, but still unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know what wildlife you would want to see around here. You're not near the ocean, so realistically, it's just going to be pigeons.
I was gonna say just be various birds, maybe a few gophers.
All the other birds would fly away. It's just going to be pigeons.
Ah,
That's a good wig. What's over there at Nürburgring? Like that is a red and gold Lions, man. Oh, we have got a crash. In the 24 hours of Nürb recovery vehicle is out. Thankfully, they got the full course yellows out. I think that's just before the run down towards the carousel.
all right.
Actually, no. I think it's just before YouTube. Four minutes 40 left on the clock here at Oulton Park.
Got about 3, maybe 4 more laps to go, and then we'll be done with this race. Someone in the chat is asking you where you're watching it.
Where am I watching it? Nords is on you. It may depend what country you're in, but I think it should be on YouTube. If you just put 24-hour Nords, if you just search up 24-hour Nords on YouTube, then it should be the top 2. One commentary is German, the other one's British.
Yeah.
Well, English, I should say.
I was gonna say, so I won't understand is what you're saying. But we have now reached 100 laps.
Let's go!
Probably finished at around 103 laps, but Rife has been sitting out in front, doing a very good job. No big mistakes as far as I'm aware of. I could be wrong on that, but
if you want to put it into perspective, we've done 103 laps around here in 3 hours. The Nordschleife has been going on for... The Nordschleife has been going on for 13 hours, 4 minutes, and the lead car is only on lap number 6. And the lead car is only on lap number 69.
wow.
I am not making that up. They're on lap 69 as we speak.
Well,
So that just puts into perspective how big the track is. Plus taking into account that they have full course yellows basically every single lap at Nords.
sounds about right. So, to cover these last couple minutes, I'm going to look back at some of the contact that we've had here, just because I want to cover a little bit of a race. All of these are from earlier in the race, so they are just replays. Most of them aren't going to be playing, unfortunately, but because they're too far back. But there has been some contact in a few places like that. So just in case you guys think that these people are being too perfect, they're very much not. Also, I didn't realize that the area in between the two tracks was that open.
Oh yeah, we take full advantage on console. Like during qualifying on the outlap, you're allowed to take that because that's the second variation of the Oulton Park circuit. There's three variations, and that's the smallest variation where we're using the national layout. So we use the full outside road, but basically down through basically where turn number 3 is, you can go right instead, and it takes you out into the second chicane. So that's
interesting.
That's what a lot of the BTCC doesn't use it, but series like Formula 4 and all that use it.
Okay. As Worley comes into the pits for his last stop. I assume he just barely ran out of stint timer, unfortunately.
Yeah. So it looked like he was going to try chase down Jeff, but unfortunately he did not.
Yep. But we are going to go ahead and watch Andrew as he finishes. I don't think this is the last stop. I think technically we have one more to go, but I'm not sure. I didn't see any white flag waves.
This will be final. It's the way that ACC does it. They don't wave the white flag until it's like, yeah, you're going to be ending this lap. But let's be honest, he's going down in the hairpin now. There's 20 seconds left on the clock. This is the final lap. So you were correct. 103 laps are around this circuit, around Oulton Park. Andrew Rife, he's been going. He's been doing it. All he needs to do now is bring it home at Oulton Park. It's been a 3-hour endurance race. He's done it solo from start to end. It's a pristine white car, which has a bit of muck and dirt in it as the white flag now flies, Mr. Trey Morgan.
There he is.
And into the second chicane, the run into the back part of the Oulton Park circuit. It is Andrew Rife, number 79, who is on the road to victory. It is going to be a mega victory for the man. And I believe this M2 is going to be very, very happy that he's about to overtake him, because it means they don't have to do another lap. So they may let him pass just into the final corner, but hopefully at least. But down into towards the final few corners, M2 should let him pass, but maybe not. So it looks like the M2 wants to do another lap. But out of penultimate, up through Deer Leap, Andrew Rife, after 3 hours, wins here at Oulton Park, and that is done and dusted. That is one heck of a win. I'll let you take the rest, Trey.
Yeah, absolutely. So he did beat Roots Line into the line, who will finish in P7. Worley will finish in P10. Kraus getting close to the finish line here. He will come in, finish P2. Lee has just finished in P4. Kraus will watch come across the line to finish P3. Mertzen P14. Manperson P11. I'm just going to cover them as they cross the line, I guess. Dan Cran in P8. I don't know who's next. I believe it'll be Schwartz. Yeah, Schwartz and Diaz have been doing an amazing job. It's unfortunate that they lost pole, but they did an amazing job there to get onto the podium. Who's next? Naples is next, as he will come home in a very respectable P7. P6, sorry. Oop.
Yeah.
Allard.
Then it'll be...
went off.
No, Allard. Number 43 next.
Number 43, Aoki. He's had a lot of issues, and his beamer does show it. But he does finish the race, so an amazing job by him. Next up will be number 52 of Allard to come home in P4. Then it will be Donovan Colton. And then lastly but not least, Spangler, assuming he actually makes it to the finish line. And he does. So there we go. So that is your race.
Like you.
Reif, then Kraus, then Schwartz/Diaz, as they are a team. So amazing job there by all of our drivers today. Alexa, do you have any final thoughts on today's race?
The fact that it was M2s and GT4s definitely helped it out. It's an endurance race, as it does. Of course, only myself and Trey are on here now. We are going to give a big thank you to Seth, as well, as he did join us earlier on in this race until about the final 45 minutes, to be fair. So that was great to have them with us. If it was GT3s, I think it would have been very different, but it's been nice, and we basically turned it into a podcast. So if anybody has any podcast names, let us know.
Yeah, so again, thank you everyone for coming and watching us today. Thank you to all the racers for an amazing race today. And thank you, Alexa, for joining me, and thank you, Seth, who is unfortunately not here, but thank you to him for joining us here in the commentating booth. And we will hope to see you guys all fairly soon, next month, for the beginning of Season 15. So, thank you all, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye!